So this is a Dave's Games. What have you been up to, Dave?
Right.
Did you like that? I'll do that again.
Okay. Go on then.
But with less passion.
Oh, brilliant. All right, Dave, how are you? What have you been playing?
So this is Year of Shame. No need to be hysterical about it. There's a bunch of us here. We're going to do some talking for a bit. It'll be fine. I'm Joe Cooper. I've got some people around me. They're all right. Like you know them. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to this in the first place. We've got Dave. How are you, Dave?
I'm all right, Joe. Thank you very much.
If you had to, like, you're in a car. There's an animal on the passenger seat. Which animal are you choosing?
Badger.
Matthew Moore, are you all right?
Yes, mates. I'm very sombre and I'm not excitable.
You're not excited. Good. Keep it tame. What animal are you having?
How about fox?
Fox. Passenger. I don't think you boys have thought this through. Like, you're having a fucking shit journey. Sorry, Jar. You got a badger? Like, I know we're asking for calm and we're going to get... But you've got a badger on your passenger seat. He's got a fox. They're not going to behave. What are you going to do when you go to the drive-thru?
Yeah,
You're not going to get... He's going to have your burgers. You're done for. Neale, how are you doing?
I'm all right, mate. Thank you very much. I'm all right.
Are we going to have a slightly less ridiculous animal? Or are you going for full grizzly bear?
What I want to know, I won't want to get hurt by whatever's next to me. Like, why fuck myself up or the car I'm driving? But I'm thinking, what would freak out the people that are driving past the most? Do you know what I mean? I'm going sea lion.
Sea lion. I thought for some reason, I was going to say, llama. I thought you just go straight for llama. Like, for some reason, you give me llama vibes.
I think somebody seeing a sea lion, like, big circular face, massive whiskers, right out there, out of the window, would, kind of put some people about, I would hope.
Put some people about.
Oh, yeah.
I want to change mine now. What I want is I want a moist manta ray, and I'm going to stick it to the passenger window.
It's dead.
So it just smiles at the passenger.
It's dead. You absolute, it's dead. You've got a smeared on your passenger seat, an endangered animal for your entertainment. That's what you want.
No, it's for the passers-by.
It's not for your entertainment.
I get to see the smiling face section.
Excellent. So you want a manta ray? Are you getting a tank in there, or are you just going?
Oh,
you're just going to smear it.
I'm going to have to fill the car on and pop my head out the sunroof.
You could fly it out the sunroof like a kite.
Good option.
Just kind of tie it up with string in the right places, catch the wind perfectly.
Yes.
They're listed as vulnerable, Dave. They're listed as vulnerable.
Well, they'll be
It
well
says here
protected
the threats
within
include
the confines of a vehicle.
A Birmingham car.
Yeah.
What vehicle is this manta ray in?
I don't know, a Volvo or something.
It's got. They're harvested for their gill rakers in Chinese medicine. They've got, like many of us, their slow reproductive rate exacerbates threats. Makes it worse because they.
So it's like something subtitled to my life there.
I was going to say, I find subconsciously chosen this. It's reached out.
See, somebody once told me, and I'm not going to mention who it is, but somebody once told me that a seal is the most deadliest animal on land at over 10 metres. They can the deadliest or the quickest. That's it. The quickest land mammal over 10 metres. And I've laughed at that person ever since.
It's not right, is it?
No. I'm like, no. And I was on holiday with this person going around like an actual really nice island. It was like a sanctuary and stuff like that and everything. And they told me this fact as we pulled up, and I was like, I think they thought they were trying to scare me or put a bit of kind of like enthusiasm into the trip. But actually, I was like, no, that's bullshit. That's got to be bullshit. So feel free to Google that, listeners. Pretty sure it's bullshit.
They've all turned off by now.
Video games or what?
They think they've got the wrong podcast.
Yeah. This is Seal Watch.
Was that like me accidentally thinking I was talking in the Ghostbuster chat yesterday?
That was quite a good fact, though, wasn't it? Come on, spill it, Matt. For those that obviously aren't involved in that chat thread.
I only appreciated yesterday that Lewis Tully in Ghostbusters became the keymaster, and ironically, he kept locking himself out of his apartment. It hadn't clicked like the many times that I'd watched it as a kid. And I also realised, that the third act in that, as a kid, I didn't like it. I was a bit scared about it. I think it all switches for me when there's that scene when Ray and the new guy that got in are going across a bridge. And it's just like foreboding music, and it's getting dark, and it's that weird kind of that music, which is all like wow, whoosh-ah. Creepy as fuck, man.
Yeah. Can we isolate that and make it the theme?
Wow.
Wow.
See, I always remember...
This is the ASMR section, which is new for this month.
Yeah. See, I always remember the version of Ghostbusters where Ray gets sucked off by a ghost.
Yep, that is.
I remember that being the first version of that movie that I saw. And then as I was growing up, like when I was like 8, 9, 10 afterwards, thinking, where's the bit where he unzips his pants and pulls his dick out?
Oh God, that does. I thought you were just talking nonsense. That actually happens, isn't it? Doesn't it? Yeah. That does happen.
There's quite a few scenes that have been cut and changed. If you look at it as well, they're just like drinking and smoking fags and stuff all the way through.
Were they famously pretty coked up through the filming of that?
I don't know. Probably. I mean, it's the 80s. So, come on.
Well, speaking about that blowjob scene as well, there was a scene in that movie that I always found dead sexy, and it was when Sigourney Weaver's in the chair and those 3 arms come out of it.
Oh yeah, because one grabs.
It comes between her legs, doesn't it? And I'm like, oh, that's so kind of naughty and scary. And,
that went when they were foo-foo.
Similar feelings about the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Oh dear.
Is it the sploshing?
Sploshing, yeah. Right, so that's the introductions. Everyone's
15 minutes in.
This, ladies and gentlemen, we've got an agenda this time, and that is point 2 on the agenda. Quick round the room.
Yeah. I would rather place us as agenda fluid.
Yes.
So you people have been talking to people, but we're not going to say which people you've been talking to.
There's been some general kind of mid-episode, because it feels like forever since we actually did a recording. Like, it feels like a good...
Yeah, it's ages ago.
Like 4 or 6 weeks ago, isn't it, kind of thing? Mm-hmm. But there's been a couple of mini kind of episodes recorded in the meantime. And I'm pretty sure that you're going to find out about one of them. At least it'll be a bit of a spoiler towards the end, so we'll keep that under wraps until then. But we'll find out. So yeah. Apart from that, how's everybody? I mean, how is everybody? Matt, how are you feeling? How have you been doing? You okay?
Tired, ready for this long weekend to catch up on sleep.
Man, don't believe the hype. Oh yeah, it's going to be good, isn't it?
Don't believe the hype. It's a normal length
it's
weekend.
A normal. Yeah.
You're going to work tomorrow, Matthew.
It's still 24 hours in each of those days. Unfortunately. But I'm in the same shoes. I need to get some sleep. Dave, how have you been doing?
Pretty much the same as ever. It's Groundhog Day. It has been for the last few years. Not much has changed.
Poor thing. Oh well. And Joe, you good?
I'm all right now. I've had the dreaded Rona. That was fun. Living in Wales, I had to have 10 days off work because I was testing positive. It was all right. Like, I'll be honest, 10 days off work. I felt rubbish for most of those days, but
you weren't at work.
I wasn't at work, which is generally quite rubbish. But yeah, I've just been shattered. Still a bit tired since, but that's about it. Bought a shed today.
You
that's
bought a shed?
Yeah, that's exciting in life. Like, you hit those late 30s and buying a shed is...
Mate,
four walls on the roof?
4 walls, roof. Quite fancy. It's all right.
Is it one of those fancy office
8 foot by 8
sheds,
foot?
or is it just a shed?
It's a shed, but it's got potential that you can insulate it. So
have you got a bottle of moonshine stashed in there?
You say
no, it's not arrived yet. I only bought it today. Like, there's some fellas going to come and just make it for me.
You say you get to your late 30s and a shed's a big thing, but instantly to my head, when as soon as you said that, I actually got excited. Right, okay, what type of shed is it? How big is it? How many windows has it got? Can you lock it? Can you put a settee in it? Does it got electricity? All these things came to my head.
Are you just basically asking Joe what the stats of his shed are?
Yeah.
Shed stats.
It's like somebody buys a PC and they're like, right,
I've basically got, right, and the way the shed seems to work, I've got sort of the green and blue sort of shed, maybe the blue shed, right? And then you can upgrade the shed, so it doesn't come with electricity because it's a wooden object, but you can like make it a better shed by putting. Like, let's not make this domestic. I'm going to start ranting about my electrician now. Jesus. Right, imagine it's a shed. You've got a whole house.
Yeah.
Neil, you've got a house. That's good. I've had COVID, bought a shed. Don't think much else has happened in my life. I wrote some stuff for a university. That's another thing. That took time. So that's meant I've spent less time playing games. Okay. Apart from that, I'm all right, Neil.
Good.
How are you? You've bought a house, which, from my understanding, is bigger than a shed.
Yes.
Has
got electricity.
Has got electricity. 100%.
Yeah, has got electricity. Has got gas plumbed in, drainage, that type of thing. Yeah, no, since last recording, I've actually moved house. Still in Sheffield, still in Yorkshire, which is really good. But been in this house for 2 weeks now. My dog is probably the worst part of this entire move because she is shit scared of every single room still. Will not be left on its own at all. I'm surprised it's not actually at my feet now, kind of grovelling for attention.
Is this why you put up the special dog wallpaper behind you to make it feel better?
Yeah, I'm just trying my best to make it feel at home with like little miniature friends plastered. No, this was my office is I think one of the children of obviously the previous owners, but I think it was about 10 years old or something. So that is dog wallpaper, obviously right behind me. You can see there, guys. In front of me, and strategically why I've put the camera facing that way, is glitter wallpaper.
Nice.
So
glitter.
Yeah, glitter. There's a grey wallpaper, a light grey wallpaper with glitter all the way through it.
So are you having like several seizures a day?
Well, no, because I face that way. I face towards the window for work, so I face this way for playing video games.
So after a session of Gears and Beers, as you're staggering out the room, holding onto the wall, you're just going to leave a trail of glitter through the house?
Pretty much, yeah. Straight over the banister, kind of like, yeah, definitely. So yeah, the renovation and redecoration are obviously on the cards, but not for a little while yet. Still got to pay for the chuffing move. So
I'll just interject here because Stuart Whitehouse asked in our questions thread, Neil, how did the house move go? So you've explained that. Did you find any store credit while unpacking?
I didn't. What I did find some Xbox Live. There's kind of credit the credit codes you get for buying controllers and bits and bobs. That was the only thing I found, which was fine. But yeah, no, I didn't magically find 50 quid's worth of PSN credit or something like that, which probably would have been great. Would have been fantastic to find something along those lines, but I didn't.
Was there anything sort of from your nerdy side which, when you were packing, you thought, why do I have this still?
Oh, mate, I have got how everybody's got a drawer of bits, haven't they? You look at in any of the drawers that are in front of you now, you'll open a drawer and you'll have a couple of extra USB cables in there, HDMI cables, shit that you don't need. I've got every single wire and cable that I think I've ever come across in my garage in several boxes that I've just kept on the off chance that I might need it in the future. I have absolutely no idea what any of these things do. I've got like audio cables for shit that I have no idea where they go into or what. Honestly, it's confusing. So a lot of the drawers in my office desks, I've just got rid of it. I was like, well, if I don't use it, I don't use it. But I can't throw it away, so it has to stay in the garage.
You'll need it next week.
No SCART connectors.
Yeah, RGB, whatever it's called. Those old kind of monitor kind of the screw-in ones. Found loads of them. It's like, well, why? Everything uses a display port now or whatever.
For that super VGA monitor you get. For that super VGA monitor you get.
No, we didn't find anything in the house. I'm not going to go too much into it, but we've had a couple of the house move went great. although the solicitors all up until the day were absolutely atrocious, because they all are, aren't they? I mean, I forgive anybody, apologies for anybody who's listening that actually has that as a profession, but you deserve to be fucking burnt if you are. But actually, on the day, the transfer of money, collecting of keys, everything all went perfectly fine. But then when we come into the new house, there was a note with instructions, like when your bin comes and stuff like that. And on the last page of it was like, oops, by the way, sorry, the toilet window handle came off this morning while I was trying to clean it. And that cost 180 quid to fix.
Ooh. Nice.
So that was like probably the biggest jab in the guts that from the entire move. So I didn't find anything apart from a completely disattached toilet window handle, Joe, unfortunately. But apart from that, nobody wants to hear all that shit. So, should we talk about video games?
Yeah,
Should we have a little bit of a chat about video games for a bit? Joe, have you been playing any video games?
I've been playing some video games.
Oh,
Not
tell
as
us
many
about
as I'd
it,
like
mate.
to be honest. So I thought COVID, I tried to play some computer games and genuinely struggled, like brain fog, all of that. So I had a bit of a go in some. I think, I'm not 100% decided, Ali's PlayStation might be gone.
Oh.
Like I put God of War on, and it was like a jet engine was taken. Like it cannot cope. So that's kind of either I move the save files over or I just do something else. Because it's not.
Shit.
It's not working particularly well. I've actually played something. Now this might be controversial. We'll see how it goes. I played the Mario Kart extra tracks because they were free. So there's the DLC for the Mario Kart. Anyway, that was all right.
It's free, mate. It's fine.
Yeah,
Don't
it's all
worry.
right. It's not one that like. So that's been all right. That's been quite good fun, actually. I've realised I'm not as good at Mario Kart as I used to be. But there's some nice new tracks on there for them to check in.
Aren't they
There's
all
one in Tokyo.
old tracks, though? Or
Some of them
new?
are, some of them aren't. So there's one that's new that's around Paris, and I think there's one around Tokyo as well. And there's one where you're like a ninja up in the rafters and stuff. So those, and then there's the old, what was it called? Is it called Choco Canyon? Something like that. So then N64 one where there's boulders falling.
Canyon, yeah.
Mountain, Choco Mountain, isn't
Yeah.
it? That one's in there. That's quite good fun as well.
So this is part of the Nintendo Plus subscription, isn't it?
Yeah, it's part of Nintendo Switch Online, which I.
But you're
Bought
already
in,
using
got
that
family
for your Animal Crossing stuff, aren't you?
Yeah. And it's only a couple of extra tracks, isn't it?
So,
Fair play.
so Joe, explain to me, because I was a Sega kid growing up, but I had a few friends who had Super Nintendos, and we played split screen Mario Kart, and like the battle mode was great. And I remember some of the tracks. Is it still? I don't know. Are they still like really good at like making fun tracks and making that game still fun 20 years later?
Yeah, and what's really nice is they've used some of those old tracks and then made a bit more happen on them. So like the old tracks would be very much of the time, and there's that kind of pace to them, isn't there? There's not much going on because it's all 2D and SNES graphics and stuff. But they've jazzed a lot of them up, but kept kind of the essence of the track. So there's a lot of the old ones you can still play through, but the newer tracks are a bit more mad and interesting. But yeah, it's cool. And you've still got split screens. You still have 4 people around playing on it, but you've got the online as well, so you can do all of that. And then there's online. If you really want to be humbled, there's online matches
Online's
where you can
horrific.
play against and you can play against people who will wipe the floor. Like I was quite good amongst my circle of friends in 1990s, where we go around and play on Gaz's N64, 4 of us with all the controllers, and yeah, it was all right. Not all right anymore. Not all right when there's hundreds of people, and
That's been their life since 1990, though. But Joe, that's the thing.
Muncher, hasn't Mario Kart 8 basically been going since 1990? Because it was a Wii game, wasn't
it's
it?
the same one, isn't it?
And no,
Well, that's one of the things
Was
when
it
the
Wii or
extra
Wii
tracks
U?
came out. No, it was a Wii U. I think it was. Yeah, it was Wii U.
yeah, and it's still going, and it's now got extra tracks. Incredible.
But like when the extra tracks were announced, people were like, "Oh, why have they announced extra tracks and not a new Mario Kart game?" And to be honest, I don't want to learn a new Mario Kart game.
Yeah.
I'd rather just keep whacking extra tracks.
You don't
on
really
them.
need one.
I'm old. Like I just want the same game with new bits in. It's going to be Mario Kart 8 forever. It's like Windows. I don't know. Yeah, I don't. there's some great ones. Like Double Dash was dreadful though, you know. And this might be controversial. There'll be people hating me for this. There's one on the GameCube where you had 2 characters at a time. You had to switch around. I don't know. They're innovating for the sake of it doesn't really help.
No, I don't know. Like, it's still a good game though.
I
think that game got a lot more flack than it deserved because at the end of the day, it's still a great Mario Kart.
Well, yeah, and a great Mario Kart is a medium. Like, it's not Crash Team Racing. It's not Sonic Racing, is it? Like, they're all classics, but yeah, this one seems to keep the good bits of most of them. The one thing that shouldn't annoy me, but genuinely annoys me, there's about 4 different Marios in there. And there's Mario, there's Baby Mario, there's Metal Mario, there's Cat Mario, and it just gets a bit ridiculous. Like, there's so many good characters that they've cut. So there's and there's like Dry Bones Bowser and stuff like that, but there's no Donkey Kong. There's Donkey Kong and a couple of, but you know, there's so many Mario characters that could be added in. You're missing like the Piranha. I think they've got King Boo in there, but not like everyone. I think Koopa Troopa's out, but
didn't they split them up into all those like Mini Coopers, whatever they were, like all the Mini Bowsers, you know, like.
So there's a couple of them
Bowser
in there, yeah.
Kids. I didn't like them,
but no, it's a good game. It's a good laugh.
Cool. You playing out else?
I'm still playing Hades. It's like still ridiculously. I've finished it now. Like I've done, apart from little like, do every part of it, complete every little challenge in the whole thing. Like the story's run its course. I'm still. But because of that randomness, it's still quite good fun to pick up and see what happens. And the difficulty ramps, so you're not playing the same game every time. You like it's made slightly harder every time now.
Right.
So it's still giving you a challenge. It's still got that randomness to it. I should stop playing it, but it's so tempting.
But if you don't want to, if you're enjoying it, what's
nothing
the
wrong
point?
with a comfort.
But I think I'm enjoying it because I haven't got the time to learn a new control scheme. But I want a new sort of game. So things will change enough to keep it fresh, but I don't have to learn a new, like, it's all muscle memory. So you're still doing the same thing. But at some point it's going to run out, stop being fun, but it hasn't completely happened yet. And now it's like, can I do it using the weapons and buffs that I don't like? So if I grab one that I hate, can I make it and do it? So there's that. And actual Year of Shame pile getting hit ever so slightly. And Majora's Mask. I'm properly playing through Majora's Mask to try and get that done.
What are you playing that on? Switch?
The Switch, because it's added to... I've got it on cartridge somewhere, but it's on Switch Online, and I thought I'll do it that way. Makes sense.
I tried playing that on the 3DS a while ago, but it's just such bad performance. It's difficult to play now, but it is an incredible game. That's one of the Zeldas that, as you get older, you appreciate more. It's really interesting.
I hated it starting off because I'd gone from Ocarina of Time, which I loved, and that's so like go and explore. And it like compared to today's games, it's not as immersive. But I remember having it with stereo sound, even just made it a bit more like, oh, he's coming from the left. It's like that part of it. So Majora's Mask, no. You feel rushed. I always felt like you've got a certain time limit. You've got that loop part of it, which it sort of put me off a bit, really. But that's kind of that's what makes it stand out as a Zelda game. I think that, and the time pressure isn't real. Like you've got a certain amount of time to do a thing, but you can go back and you can still explore once you figure out how to do that.
There's another game I played a while ago. I've still not finished. I will go back to it, called The Outer Wilds, and that's very much the same thing. Like the game ends in 20 minutes, so it's like the most open world space exploration game, and you find all these puzzles. But basically, the whole game's on a loop. The entire universe explodes in every 20 minutes. You can sort of prolong it, but it really reminds me of Majora's Mask.
Yeah. But I'm glad I've come back to it because it's got a lot of its own little charm, and it's got that proper sort of Zelda charm to it as well. But it's, having played a lot of the games, this is one that's like, it's got a uniqueness, this self-contained thing to it. It's a nice, and I'm further now than I've ever been on it before.
Oh, cool.
Because I gave up after the first dungeon before. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's good. But that's about it, really. That's all I've been playing because I've had too many other things going on, really. But Neil, what about you? What have you been up to?
God, I can't even... You know what? It's been that long since we recorded last. I can't remember what I spent last time. Plus, also, I'd had a drink at the time. At the moment, I've started... I think it was Matt that was talking about it in the last episode, about trying the free trial for Cyberpunk 2077. And I think it probably planted a seed for me, because I went back and I think maybe about 5 or 6 weeks ago, I think there was one of the big patches came out for the PC version. And I thought, I'm going to give it a go, actually, because I tried it at launch and I couldn't tell what was meant to be glitchy in the game, kind of like, and what actually was a glitch, because it was badly put together. So I restarted a brand new kind of save, and I've done 70, 80 hours in the last couple of weeks.
Oh, nice.
So last week and a half, maybe last week and a half, since 2 weeks actually, because it's been since the house move. I was playing it offline mode. I've done like 80 hours, and it's great. I'm getting lost in the story. I'm really getting lost in the kind of the music and the kind of the art style and the aesthetic of it. It's not the best game ever, and I don't think anybody would claim it was trying to be, I suppose, in a way. But it's got a lot going on for it, and the more I'm playing it, the more when you kind of level up the kind of RPG elements to it, and you gain more, kind of abilities, and you kind of stats kind of alter to the way that you're playing and things like that. It just gets deeper and deeper, and you can play it, kind of like you can play it kind of stealthily. You can play it, completely balls out on your chin kind of mentality to it. But it's a really good game, and I'm really getting into it. I'm probably about halfway through the main storyline. And I'll continue to play it. It's really good. The graphics have really improved on the PC version. It's actually quite sexy looking in places. So I'm playing that at the moment. And playing that made me start thinking, I think actually it was I've been waiting to replay The Witcher 3, because they were talking about doing a next gen update, kind of with all the kind of the bells and whistles in, kind of light shading and all that kind of stuff and bits and bobs. And I think they announced like a month ago that they weren't going to do that for another year. So I was like, well, why am I putting it off then? I'm not going to wait for that to drop. So I've started playing Witcher 3 again, just casually in between meetings at work. Probably shouldn't be saying that out loud, but fuck it.
How far did you get through it previously, Neil?
I'd completed it when it on the Xbox. I completed it and I did 200 hours playthrough. From memory, 220 hours playthrough. But I remember at the time I used to play quite a lot, quite late night, with a couple of cans of cider in my hand, and therefore it took me half an hour in the next session to work out exactly what I'd been doing the previous session. But also, it's a kind of game where you can go down. There is the kind of choices that you can make in particular missions and things like that, and particular story quests that really do shape the ending of the game. And I think I went down a bit of a path. I didn't get the greatest of endings, but I played it 5 years ago. And to be quite candid, I've put about 10 hours in this week, 10, 12 hours. And I'm seeing things I don't remember seeing last time.
Is that because of the cider?
Potentially, it's because I'm not drinking White Lightning while I'm playing it, potentially.
Oh, Neil,
but there's just
in both games,
can
I just ask, did you at any point go to the pub in them?
Excuse me, he says with a mouthful of beer. Yes, I go to the inns in Witcher to play some Gwent, because I really like it. I'm one of those people that actually like Gwent.
No, I love that as well. But did you ever play the Gwent sort of side? Because I've heard that's rubbish.
Yeah, I think I downloaded it when it first came out a couple of years back, and I think I played a couple of rounds. And I think the part of me is enjoying it in the actual base game. I thought it was going to be something similar, but it felt a lot. There was a lot more advanced. There was a lot more there, and I don't think I had the patience to relearn something that I thought I had a passion for in the first place. It just, is a different flavour, a more advanced and more, it was I think it was when electronic card game, kind of card-based games was at its height as well. A lot of people were riding on them. I just thought, oh God, no, I can't. But I think I saw it on Twitter today that they're releasing another version or a different version of a Gwent game in the next year or so. Apparently,
I'm pretty sure that old one has got cancelled. I'm pretty sure you can't play it anymore.
They probably pulled it.
The standalone. I mean.
Yeah, I think it probably just didn't get the support that it was after. But yeah, no. But yeah, Witcher 3 is just fantastic, and I've been modding it as well, which I obviously didn't get to do last time. So I've been trying to kind of play around with a little bit of the kind of the graphics and a bit of the gameplay and things like that, and kind of just a bit of improvement. And that's worked out well so far. Some things work, some things don't. I put on a mod that was meant to make every NPCs, the peasants' faces to be different, because they're there's only about 20 or so models to choose from.
I thought you were going to say Nude Rider then.
No.
I thought you were saying Russ Abbott. I thought they were all going to be Russ Abbott.
Yeah, no. They're not, no. And turned it on and put it on, and basically every single face was just a melted mass of like a pyramid coming out the middle of their face, but it was like melted wax going into a point. Yeah, it was like the Hills of Eyes, when they the melted head off the back of the chair. It was kind of like that, but from the front, hanging off the nose. It was gross, so I had to pull that back. So yeah, that's them too. So they've been taking up a lot of my time. Obviously, Gears and Beers is another thing that happens quite regularly, and I've played a little with the house move and things like that. I've not, and obviously because it's an online game, I've not had the opportunity. But obviously, I've played a little bit of Destiny. I've finished the main Witch Queen campaign on Legendary difficulty, which was challenging.
Did you
really challenging?
Do it solo?
Yes. Well, no, tell a lie. I did 90% of it solo. I did the third mission. I had Dougie and Phil come in and join me for a session just because they were around. But the last 60%, 70%, I did it all on my own. And it's fucking hard in places. There's a swear jar for you. Solid in places to the point where very frustrating. But perseverance. One particular bit that shouldn't have been hard was dead hard. And I must have had about 30 goes at it. Just losing my patience every single time. But it got there in the end.
Do they still have platforming sections that can be very much hit or miss?
Yeah, kind of, but not as harsh as it was in Destiny 1. I think that was like a big, especially within the raids and stuff like that. In this one, though, it's just a lot of... Because the crux of the Witch Queen is that there's certain enemy types that have actually got light powers. So there's got the wizards and stuff like that have actually got like the lightning kind of powers and stuff like that. So they can actually use your own powers against you. And if you don't, and when you kill them, you can see their ghost. Like when you die and you're regenerating, you're regenerating, your ghost is floating around. You can see theirs, and you have to get to them to kill their ghost, manually crush it with your hands, otherwise they regenerate like you do in a game. So but if you're in a field of battle and they're at the back or midway through and you've managed to get them out of the way because they're tanking them off, but you can't get to them in time, they just respawn in your face and then just lay the shit into you.
Mad.
So it was gross in places.
How does it
but
rank?
Yeah, that's
sorry,
sorry,
I was going to say, how does it rank in the expansions? Is it up there with the best? Or
I think because I played all the expansions quite close together last year, so I played quite of them all of them back to back kind of thing as they all kind of dropped. For me, the story is very rich and quite engaging, and because it's the first time that I'm playing a season, at the same time as well. So there's a weekly story that slightly unfolds each week as well. It feels good for me, and I'm a lot more invested in it this time because I'm playing it live rather than playing it 6 months, 2 years, 3 years behind. Yeah, like I was previously. So it's got a lot more to it this time around for me. I'm not as high as light level as I'd like to be, but God, it'll be fine. I'll get there in the end. Enough about me. Enough about my games. I think that's me spent anyway. Who's next then? Who wants to go next?
I can give you some more awesome Matty progress when it comes to sorting his life out.
Oh yeah.
Financially.
Let's go.
So
Let's
I
go.
Here we go.
I spotted something, and I remembered. I was like, "Yes, of course, that makes sense." So I noticed that the wife's Vodafone contract. That's where our Spotify payments came from, and it was because when we got the contract, it was like, "Hey, have this for 6 months for nothing," and then we forgot that that's where it bills it from. So what I did was I was looking around thinking, okay, how can I annualize this? And there was no really good deals there for it. And I thought, I don't need Spotify. Does the wife really need Spotify? Like, if I just get rid of it and don't tell anyone, will she find out? Matt.
Will she just think an advert's just a small song with lots of words?
That's exactly what I did. I turned off the family plan. She doesn't know.
How long ago though, Dave? Was it about a year ago?
Mate, well, as things stand now, I was paying £9.99 a month, like, but in the middle of that thing. So over time, I was just used to however much the wife's phone cost. So it was great to go in there, and I thought to myself, well, I can't. So what I did was I thought, right, I'll just cancel it, and it would have run out, and it has run out a month ago to this very day, which also kind of dates when we would have done our last show, I guess, in February. And it's not been needed yet. Now I know that I expect at some point it'll be like party. Whatever happens around Matty's house, loads of friends come around, and it'll be like, "Hey, let's get the old orgy playlist going again." and when
Please share that playlist with me, Matt. I'd like to know what it starts with.
I mean, just buy the Venga Boys album.
So what I'll do is, as and when I need to, I'm just going to get a month's payment on a card, redeem it, and then next time I need it in 3 months' time, do exactly the same thing again. Therein lies my plan to, just use it when I need it.
I did something very similar to that. Go on. Oh, sorry, go on, Dave.
I'm pretty sure you can get 3 months on your Game Pass perks. So it might be worth claiming.
Worth finding out, mate. If you can, that's amazing.
Might be for new accounts, so you might need to, fire up Terry@gmail again.
Don't screen share. There's no need to screen share.
Well, without getting too political, I ended up. I wanted to listen to some Joni Mitchell, and she's not on Spotify anymore. So I ended up switching my Spotify and getting 3 months free Apple Music, which I'm in the middle of at the moment.
I can't do it. Spotify knows my tastes too well. I can't switch because my recommendations are bang on every week.
I think I've got the same feeling with Netflix. I've had Netflix for years, and I don't think I could. Right now, I don't think because the prices are going up, aren't they? They're going up like £2 or £3 a month, depending on all the packages and stuff like that. And it's the same thing, Matt, almost with the Spotify kind of stuff. Is that I don't think my missus will notice that we're not on Ultra HD version anymore, and that we can only have it on 2 devices. She'll just see it as standard HD, and she won't know. Great, I get to save £3 a month. So yeah, it's a very similar thing.
I've never done that. I've never done the upgrade for Netflix. So that's just
I did it.
That's how it is. It's fine.
Yeah, I did it. I think I got carried away about 2-3 years ago when I bought a 4K TV, and I was like, yes, use it, utilize the stuff, go for it, stream everything, and then you can see the difference, but if you're looking, but my eyes are knackered anyway, Dave, like yours. So it kind of
720p is all I get now.
It's fine. just at your eye dial.
I was brought up on Spectrum resolution and BBCs and things. It's fine. I don't need ray tracing and stuff.
Right, let's stick to the agenda, guys. Come on.
So Matt, apart from that game of let's save as much money as we can, what have you been playing? And do we need to prep anything for this one?
Do you have a question?
We do need to... Oh, go on, Dave.
I've lost them. He's moved. Right. So Kath Macaulay asks, I even got her name right this time. Which is
Yay!
the better pet, dogs or cats?
Okay, I'll go first. Okay,
With
to
your
give you guys
dog
some thinking time.
wallpaper.
Yeah, exactly. Now, can you pet a cat?
Yes.
Do they like it, or are they just humouring you?
Some cats like it, some hate you.
Right, I've only had 2 experiences with cats. Being, I rented a room in an apartment when I lived in Sydney for a year.
With a mountain
And
lynx.
the woman that I rented it from had a cat, like a big ginger one, furry thing, and it fucking hated me. Right, like for a year, it hated me. Never got used to me. Never got like anything. So from then on, I'm just just think cats are just.
Maybe that was just the one racist cat that you met.
Maybe it was. Maybe just a xenophobic cat.
I've got a horrific story. I've just realised.
Go on then. Right, let's make it a 2-hour episode. Fuck it. Come on.
Is there a spade and a bin shed involved?
Sort of. So we had this absolutely horrible ginger female cat called Gingy, really originally, who was just vile, just hated everyone, just hissed, bit, scratched, hated everyone. And it was horrible to, us as kids and the family's kids that came round. And my dad said that it got run over. And then it was only about a year ago, my mum said, "Oh, that cat was horrible. Your dad took care of that."
Oh, Jesus.
The Year of Shame podcast does not condone animal abuse of any kind, especially not the running over of grubby cats.
Oh,
Anyway.
spading it and just digging into underneath the shed.
Yeah, anyway, I'm firmly in the cat camp. I love cats. I've had lots of cats and they're great. Like, my favourite cat of all time, Bunky, named after Blanca in Street Fighter, going, Bunky!
And was it green with red hair?
No, it was just lovely.
I guess that's one thing that goes with cats is you can get away with naming cats kind of crazy, where with dogs you because with dogs you have to be shouting it in public.
Fenton.
Exactly, Matthew. Exactly. You can't call it shithead. Well, you can, but you know. Joe, are you a cat or a dog person, or do you prefer neither?
Dogs are better, aren't they? They're like little mates. They're little friends.
Yeah,
Also,
they love you.
They will also defend you. Whereas a cat, we've never had cats, and I have to confess, I am quite allergic to cats and a little bit allergic to some dogs. That does not make it easy to love either of them. But dogs are but like if there was 2 pills in front of me, one means you're not allergic to dogs anymore, and one means you're not allergic to cats anymore. Just chuck the cat one in the bin. Like, dogs are better animals.
Yeah, but the cats would sneak up like ninjas and asthma you.
They're bastards, aren't they? They are bastards.
Yeah.
They're just psychopathic predators, and you're a convenient source of warmth.
Yeah, and food and just shelter, and they're just fucking selfish.
You're in the dog's pack, like you're one of its family.
You're basically saying
Cats
cats are sponges.
Yeah,
100%.
massive doll sponges.
Having said that, we have a tortoise, and he's ace, but I'm not part of his pack. He does not care. He cares that flowers appear and food appears.
Flowers appear.
Yeah,
Is he a
He fucking loves spring.
he loves spring. Yeah, well into it.
He's waiting all year for spring.
100%. Yeah. I don't know if you know that a lot of them have a kip in the winter, don't they? Famously. Wait for the spring. Like, wake me up when a bit like
when the
Green
flowers
Day.
are out.
Wake me
I
up when September.
I love flowers in
flowers.
bloom. Me. I love going past those roundabouts where they're all in bloom when somebody's sponsored them.
I mean, it eats them.
Fucking
Like, I'm
loves
not
it.
saying it's got some Van Gogh paintings on the wall. It eats the flowers. It loves flowers in the same way that a dog loves meat.
Have we answered Cass' question?
I think we have. Yeah,
think we
we
have.
also need to think about timings. Otherwise, this is going to be a 24-hour bloody podcast.
It is.
Come on.
True that. I
boom,
do
boom,
actually
boom,
have.
boom, bang,
I
bang,
do
bang.
actually have I have a surprise question that came in to me personally. I'm going to read it out. Dave, this is to you.
Oh.
This comes in from Gavin McPherson.
Oh, right, here we go.
Here we go. It says, hey mate, regarding the Year of Shame recording tomorrow, you might want to ask the legend that is Dave Southall if he's still convinced that he broke his year of shame when we were playing the other week and we got talking about Xbox rewards and the reward points you can get through the app. We were both a bit pissed by this stage, and I said that you can get points for playing a level of Duel through the app. He played it, and then I asked if he'd broken his year of shame, which he did actually think he had, until I reminded him that Duel is built into the Xbox app, and he'd already had that installed before they started Year of Shame, so he was fine.
There we go. Gav, you big swine. Thank you.
Did you have a proper panic, Dave? A proper sweat?
I had a proper sweat on because it was after we finished one of the Tuesday night sessions, and as you know, we play Far Cry the roguelike at that point, usually. And so we were talking about the reward points. And yeah, I had a mild sweat on when I realised that I started playing Duel. I thought, hang on, have I played this before? But I'm pretty sure I played it in the past before.
And is there any real reason why you couldn't have used your Joker for that?
Klaxon time!
Wait, I've been waiting 25 fucking minutes for us to get onto this subject matter. Okay, now, so David,
Yeah.
what else have you been playing this month?
Well, I think it'll come as no surprise to anybody. I have, well, I won't say the rude word. I have played my Joker this month. So I have bought and have been playing Elden Ring.
Oh, mate. And so far, mate, we're going to go into a bit more detail in this. I want you to talk about the game I want to find your thoughts and stuff like that. But any instant or regrets since then about using your Joker for such a title this earlier on?
No, absolutely zero. It was a dead cert. I bought it, I paid for it last year, so I knew 100% I'd be playing it. And it's basically my favourite game ever.
So no regrets of playing your Joker then, Dave?
No, it's 100% absolute no worries. The only regret I've got is that I have probably played it too much. I am pretty much done with it now. I've pretty much done everything I can.
I remember having a conversation with you, Dave, via Messenger about 3 weeks ago, about a week or so after you'd bought it, a week after you bought it. And you said something, and please correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, but you said something along the lines of, yeah, I'm playing a lot of Elden Ring. And I was like, when you say a lot, you were like, I'm playing about 2 or 3 hours before I start work in the morning.
That's exactly what I've been doing.
And then I'm playing it for about 7 or 8 hours after I finish work. And I'm thinking, how many fucking hours left in the day is there?
I put a tweet out basically saying, this is my life now. Work, Elden Ring, sleep. That's it.
Okay, now.
So I've put about I put about
160
hours in, I reckon, so far since launch.
I was about to say, like, have you got like a running total? What are you playing it on?
I'm actually playing it on PS5, and that is because my nephew got a PS5 as well, and we played Dark Souls and so on before. And one of the reasons why I'm loving this so much is because I played quite a lot of it in a party with him. Not so much co-oping, although we have done quite a bit of that. I haven't had him into my game. Everything I've done on my own, basically. I've not been summoning and all that lark.
Right.
But it's just been an absolutely brilliant, like, bonding experience. So the amount of time I've spent with my nephew as well has made it extra special. It's going to go down in memory for that reason for me. It's really, really, hit a nerve.
Awesome.
But yeah,
excellent stuff.
It's awesome.
I love that klaxon so much. Should we play it again?
What?
What?
Because I've got Elden Ring as well, motherfucker.
Yeah,
And I'll tell you what,
Matthew.
and my purchase was very different to Dave's. I mean, like, I didn't think I was going to get this, but it happened. Like, it was, the game came out and the internet started playing it, and a lot of people who we know who love the Soulsy games were just gushing over it.
Oh, mate. The amount of jizz I've seen in the last 4 weeks on social media for this game has been fucking ridiculous.
It's a good job you were moving out, so you wouldn't have been able to download
Yeah,
it.
thank God you
But,
had no internet.
It was like, so for me, it was a weekend then. It was the weekend that you lot were all meeting up for that little sort of gathering that you had.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was a Saturday, and I thought to myself, Joe, what? I'm going to get this. But I'd also just downloaded, and we spoke about it last time, it was still available, the X amount of hours trial of Cyberpunk.
That's right,
So
yes.
I was thinking if that worked, I could buy that, and maybe that would be my Joker. But I just clicked, and I sort of flipped, and I was like, I'm going to go and buy it right now. So another thing that I did, unlike old me, who would just go to whatever respectable platform store I was on and buy it for whatever they were asking for, I went to CD Keys and I got it for $24.99.
Ooh, bargain.
Wow.
That is good.
Was that for Xbox as well?
It was for the SX version.
Yeah. Awesome, mate. That's a great price.
That's
And-
mega, yeah.
That's
So I
half what
downloaded
paid.
it. I played it for about 3 hours, and I was like, yes, I get what it is. Now I better go and check out that Cyberpunk just in case. So I actually stopped playing Elden Ring to go and play Cyberpunk all the way through, thinking, please don't be very good. Please don't be very good. Please do not make me have made the wrong decision. And you know what? I didn't give it a chance. I made a woman with a massive cock because the option was there to do it. Do you know what, Dave? All the things that I wish I was.
Oh, Matt, I love you so much, but if you had a massive pair of hooters as well, you'd be perfection.
So either way, yeah. So I've got Elden Ring as well. Now I've not put 160 hours in, obviously, and I think we sort of spoke when we were talking about the games that were coming out this year, and I kind of knew that in time I would get it because I play it behind everybody else, and I'm fine with that. Like, people say don't spoil things. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. So I'm not worried about that. And I know that some people considered, like, people were putting screenshots of their map on so you could see, like, how many fast travel points there were and how big the maps get. So people are like, oh, spoilers. I'm like, no, I don't care about that. I will find... It might take me a year. I'll find all these things.
You will.
But what I love about these games is when I get to a point where I'm like, I did my usual thing. I played it for 20 hours and then I restarted immediately.
Oh my God.
And I made up that 20 hours in about an hour and a half based on what I'd learned.
Yes, you could easily do that.
And I'm now at that point now where I am, like, YouTube will be constantly on the front page surfacing new Elden Ring content. And this is what I like. I like to become part of that zeitgeist. So I'm not playing it with them, but I'm watching the speed that people learn the mechanics and learn early to mid to late game builds based on how you might want to play has always been a fascinating part of these games. But what I'll tell you, Neale, and this is what I'll tell anybody, where Elden Ring excels compared to all the other games, which as far as I'm concerned, they're all great, like Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, they're all really well crafted games. People throw open world into games for because why not? This works. I mean, the fact that your character has a jump is game changing. The fact that you have a mount and your mount has a double jump that can turn mid-air for its second jump all of a sudden makes the platforming elements and the potential of where you can get to phenomenal. And with Dark Souls games, because I always felt that like you were like, okay, I'm in the hub world now. Do I go to that world where I'm getting my ass kicked, or do I go to this world to do a bit of grinding? Now I can just go. I'm just going to go west and see what the hell happens. And they've formed the world enough that you can very quickly find yourself a place where you go, I don't need to be here just yet, do I? But holy shit!
It's worth mentioning
and then just
as well. On your map, you can also place. You've got a load of different markers. So if you come across a thing and you just think, nope, I'm totally noping out of this, you can place like a skull icon, say, and then just go somewhere else, do something else.
So, is the a very naive question here? So, is the map sectioned off into like, like on some kind of open world things where you got to be level 10 to 15 to be in this place, 15 to 20 to be in this place?
The thing about Dark Souls and Elden Ring, etc., is you can do the entire game in what you start the game in. It'd be very difficult, but people do. People do like level 1 runs and things. But there are sections of the map that you need to do things to get to. But those are few and far between. More or less, you can just get on your horse and just ride and go. And you can run around the whole map and uncover everything if you want, really.
Yeah, no, I think my question was more kind of like, is it like, is it parts of the map like certain like sections?
Yeah, you don't get
certain
like,
kind
like
of
say
like
in Fallout,
No, it's
you've
all-
got like
that
a
are
level
like
above an enemy. You don't get that in Elden Ring, but things are difficult. Like there are things that will absolutely delete you in one hit. But you can kill them.
But is that everything in that area then? So say if you kind of work your way to like a marshland or whatever.
I know what you mean,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying there's like, because I know there's not like a level above anybody's heads or anything like that. Saying they're level 16 and I'm level 10. There's no way I can get to them. What I'm trying to say is if you run to a fucking mountain range or what have you, is everything on that mountain range going to kick your ass, or is it just a certain type?
But the beauty of it is that you can literally run past everything. You get on your horse and you just weave through them and dodge through them and get through, and you can pick up the big bad item at the end in a lot of things. You don't even have to kill things. You can dodge your way to the end of dungeons and so on and get the loot. Just die and then you got the thing.
There's a couple of real good quality of life things that they've done. I think this is, although it maintains From Software's reluctance to tell you exactly what's going on and to force your hand at experimentation, I guess, they have made a few things a little bit nicer. Now, if you're out of combat, you can fast travel at will to any of the sites of grace / bonfire / lanterns that you've found. Because that was always the thing with Dark Souls, is you'd get to a point and you'd be like, shit, I've got so many souls and there's a fog door in front of me and I can't be asked to go all the way back. What do I do? You can just warp, fast travel whenever you want, any of these places.
You don't need to come across another fire to transport to another fire.
You have to find the fire first, but as long as you're out of combat, you can travel to any of them at any time.
So, because the always thing that my very limited experience with Dark Souls and Bloodborne games is that crushing defeat of when you've got that many kind of, you've killed that many souls, you've got that much kind of currency on you as you're progressing, and then some cheeky fuck one-shots you, and you're crying in your own controller. Here, if you've kind of massed up enough souls and you think, actually, guys, I'm teetering on being able to level up with this, like, come out of combat, run off into onto a section on your own, and then you can just do that and farm. Because obviously, when you go back to a fire lantern, a site of grace, or whatever it is, then obviously all the bog standard NPCs respawn, don't they? Like every other Souls game.
It's
interesting.
Not really frustrating like that. Well, there's a few mechanisms that can stop it. There are items that stop you losing your runes, souls, when you die. And you get this thing called a flask of wondrous physic, which is like a drink that you can make, and you can add all sorts of ingredients.
Sure, I've had a cocktail named that before.
I'm sure there's going to be a billion cocktails named after this. But essentially, you can mix one that when you drink it, it means you don't lose souls when you die. So I've had that on from the start. So I've just done all sorts of crazy kamikaze things and just swigged this flask before I'm going to do it, and just never worried. So not once in that game have I gone, oh no, I've lost a billion souls, I'm really devastated. Never. Not at one point in the game.
You see, that's a massive change from previous games, isn't it? Because for me, I think that was yes, the game is hard. Yes, it's unrelenting in its mechanics to learn, how enemies are going to come at you and their patterns and their form and everything. But the massive kick in the nuts was, I've worked really hard to get to this point. and I've died and I've lost all my
Now,
progress.
there's also a second
this.
mechanism that makes it less frustrating. And these are things called a stake of Marika. And you see these little statues around the place. And they are generally right before the boss room. So even if you die, you don't have to go back to the bonfire at the start. Like, you have sort of small dungeons in this, which are like smaller Demon Souls levels. So you have to go through, solve puzzles, blah, 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 blah. But if you die, just like at the boss, you can, instead of respawning at the start, you can just say, spawn me at the Stake of Marika, which is literally almost outside the boss room almost every time. So you just like, whatever, I'll just have another go.
And they use similar systems like that to encourage the co-op, so the summoning of help. Now, me and Dave were having a bit of a conversation about this, that about how bosses will scale. So I was struggling with this one boss over and over again, and I was only deliberately going for it because I knew that it dropped a katana, because I am a dex and int build, so I very much needed that katana, Dave. And I was banging my head against this goddamn dragon for so long, and so I would just go to the summoning pool, and I'd be like, right, I'll ring my bell, I forget what the thing is, and pull people in. And even though it meant that there was more hit points for the monster, I could just stand back and spam my magic and let these guys do the tanking. But actually, Dave, I guess this is one thing that I've never quite understood. So I always request help, which means that it summons somebody into my instance world to help me with a boss or with an area. What do you get out of helping your nephew, for example?
Okay, so, well, for a start, it's great playing in co-op.
Other than family bonding,
you can basically run around all the map in co-op together. You can't use your horse, but you can basically just run everywhere together. Just carry on, just go anywhere together. But once you've killed a boss, you know the summoned person disappears. So
you
what
get
you get out of it is
helper?
generally you get. I think it's a fur calling finger, which is the thing that you need to use to summon other people. And you also get this thing called a rune arc. Now, I don't know, have you actually killed a big boss?
Yeah, I've got 2 rune arcs. So I've got 2 runes, or two things, I forget what they're called. I know I need to activate them with an arc.
No. You have to activate the rune as well first. So there's a place that you need to go. Like, well, I'll give you a quick tip. They're called Divine Towers. So you get the boss's rune, you take it to this place, you activate it, and then you can use a rune arc to use that rune. So it might, like, the first boss that you kill, if you use your rune arc on that rune, gives you, like, the effective of 40 levels. So you become, like, badass. And that lasts until you die.
So you need to say those rune arcs are perishable.
Yeah, rune arcs are used to empower a rune, and that stays until you die.
Right.
The summoning's pretty interesting in this as well. So you got multiple types of summoning. If you're playing completely solo or offline, you get this thing called a spirit bell, and you can summon various ashes, they're called. So you can summon like regenerating skeletons or little goblins or spearmen, archers. You get all sorts of stuff, and so but you can only summon those in certain areas. And when you put down your sign to be summoned, there's 2 types of things. We'll probably cut all this out because it's going to go on forever. So the first one, you can put down your sign in a specific place, and that's I can't remember which one that is. It's the finger one. That means only people who are at that exact spot will see your sign there. Or you can use the other one, which puts your summon into a pool, and then you know those little statues, they're like Y-shaped. Any of those that you've touched anywhere in the game, your sign appears at all of them when you put that sign down. So, you know, it's great for me because, like, I'm piddling around at the end of the game now because I can't finish it because reasons, and I can't say because spoilers. Because if I do this thing, it's going to cut a massive chunk of the game out, and which my nephew's not caught up, and I won't be able to play with him. So I'm going around doing everything I possibly can in the game at the moment. So yeah.
So do you just like do you do your thing of saying like I'm happy to help a brother out and get on with your day, and at some point does it prompt you and say like someone's going to summon you?
You can just put your sign down into the summoning pool and then just go and do whatever you want, and then like a few seconds later you'll just appear at a random place that you've touched one of these statues and you go and help some boys out.
Oh, so that explains why sometimes I'll have somebody who's massively OP or just a dude. Because it might just be someone who's just kicking about going, well, I'll help somebody out while I'm here.
Like later on, you don't want to use the summoning pools for specific bosses because there are certain things that make certain bosses very easy. So if you get a random dude, he's going to be rubbish. But if you pick a sign up that's specifically on the floor there in front of the door, he knows what's coming and he's going to batter him.
Man, well, I think we should. How about we park out Elden Ring chat there, Dave, and me and you probably need to speak offline a little bit.
Yeah, because I could talk about this all day, every day.
You've always got like the next couple of episodes. It's your Joker for crying out loud. Apart from playing every 14 hours of every day like Dave has for the last 4 weeks, you're meant to make it last a whole year to a certain extent. So I'm sure you can talk
like
about
a dog when you feed it, when it just snaffles up the biscuits instantly. Yeah.
You know what? Our friend Dougie is exactly the same. He's when he gets a game in his lips, he can't fucking let go of it. So I think he's done exactly the same as you, Dave. He's probably just poured his entire life into that. So it must be good. Have you played anything else, Dave? I can see a twinkling of a little bit of a list if you want to go through that.
I've got a bit of a list. Should we have another quick question first?
Yeah, go for that.
This one will need cutting. Dave Packer, I am particularly interested in Neale's upcoming DIY projects in his new house.
Fucking hell.
And also, has he played Unpacking?
No, never played Unpacking. Don't own it, so can't play it. Do see people playing it on a Friday night, though. Find that weird.
Super chill.
Like a Friday night.
That was
but Friday night is when you want the adrenaline pumping. Is when you would be like, I'm alive. I've survived a week at work. I'm going to pack away some clothes into really tiny boxes and put them in my desk.
I'm going to neatly rearrange some socks.
Yeah.
I heard that a bunch of kids were getting confused by the presence of a Nintendo GameCube in it. They didn't know what it was. They kept putting it in the kitchen. They thought it was some sort of cooker.
It does look pretty obscure.
Toaster or something.
Yeah, it's like it's fucking to do the rice with.
I
or
think
something.
I talked about this in our first one. Our first show.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. We talked about Unpacking because I think you'd played it recently. So no, I haven't played it. DIY projects, Dave Packer. I've got loads, mate. Honestly, there is. I've never done DIY before. The most DIY thing. What's the most DIY thing I've ever done? Hell. Honestly, not much. I am terrible. I just pay for professionals to do it. Supporting local businesses, aren't you? You're keeping somebody in a job. It's like, it's kind of that kind of adjective. Like a Corby trouser press. If you dismantle it, somebody's got to put it back together again, haven't they? I'm keeping somebody in life.
The amount of staff I have in my house is untrue.
Yeah. So there's a lot of staff to hire this year. Although I have one of my good friends. Has promised to teach me the basics of DIY and take me out and buy me a drill, help me buy a drill, to start drilling like holes in walls to hang pictures and stuff like that. Exactly like you.
Just get Bonner down.
It's got light on it and everything.
Have an additional floor by the end of the weekend.
Matt's got a drill, but he's not allowed to drill anything.
Yeah, he's got no bit in.
Someone comes round and kicks him in if he drills anything.
It's just his torch with the spinny bit.
Just makes a really cool, powerful, manly drilling noise. So no, there's loads of stuff that I want to do. But we've bought this house to renovate it, so we're gonna be like smashing through and creating a kitchen diner and stuff like that in the next year or two.
Is this the potential for Everhouse?
Yeah,
Home?
oh yeah, I'm not moving again. If I can help
man.
it, they can bury me in the tree in the back, the tree in the back garden, not in the tree. That'd be fucking gross. That'll scare the kids. That'll scare the kids around there.
The would be
a fat guy just
Neale, Jarrett,
hanging me up, kind of like a scarecrow.
He'll be the Yorkshire old man Willow.
Yeah,
like the would be like Flash Gordon. Like kids will put their arm in the tree
and
they'll try and bite them.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this.
No, they can bury me at the bottom of the garden. Definitely, I'm not moving again. I found the whole thing far too stressful. And yeah, no, I'm stopping here.
I'm going to take this opportunity to slip in another question while we're on it. Brian Riley asks, have you guys cut down on your use of social media?
No.
Second bit to this, it says, there is a certain games that seems to have taken over. Just wondering how you are handling the FOMO. With our jokers.
Mine was to buy it.
Anyway, I haven't. Is this some kind of sick joke asking me if I cut down on social media?
You got it back in your life.
I'm back in.
Yeah, you're back on Facebook. Did you miss it?
I did. I really did, to be honest. Actually, I didn't at all. And then when I slipped back into its beautiful embrace, I was quite happy.
Sounds like heroin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the
golden brown?
What's the first thing that I did? And this was going to be on my list later. I organised a fight.
What, in a car park around the corner from your house?
I organised a Street Fighter 4 night on the Xbox. So there were a few of us.
Yes, you did.
And it was absolutely hilarious. It was brilliant. So I will be arranging those again if anyone would like to join.
I've not cut down on social media. If anything, it makes me a little bit more ravenous to see other people enjoying themselves playing new games. And the FOMO, right? Elden Ring has created a lot of hype, and it's probably a game like people have said that, like Matt said earlier on. I probably would have bought it a little further down the line anyway. But the amount of jizz, like I mentioned earlier on, that people have been going on about it, the FOMO has been massive, and I've hovered over the buy button a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, quite seriously, but I've not clicked on it yet. And I've not done it yet, Dave. No, I'm not doing it now. No. I was tempted to do it live on air,
That's
but
what I was heading
see,
towards.
the thing is, for me, I'm saving myself for one of 2 games, and I think one of them might be cancelled. Has anybody seen the promos and stuff like that for a game called The Day Before?
Is that the Division type zombie?
Yes,
MMO.
yeah, it's a very Division-esque kind of shooter, but kind of mixed. All the promo says like it's Division mixed with that Last of Us, so it's a very kind of like survival horror shooting game kind of thing. Well, it's meant to be out in June, but since like 3 months ago, nobody's spoken about it at all. So I've been saving myself for that game because it looks fucking amazing. There's another swear jar right there. Or Starfield, obviously in November from Bethesda, which I will be getting at some point. So, but I've been proper teetering with all this FOMO. Coming back to the original question of screw those guys, I'm gonna play Elden Ring because everybody says it's amazing. So yeah, I've been falling victim. How about you, Joe? Have you had any FOMO through social media?
I've come close, but as I mentioned it, I've got loads of things I need to do at the moment, tons. So. I've got I'm doing a master's at uni at the moment, so I've had loads, and if I buy it, that's writing off everything. And I just can't.
Imagine you looking back in 10 years' time, going, I'm gonna look back on my, that time in my life when I had a really good go at a master's, where I could have really set off my career in a different progression, but I played a video game for 600 hours in 2 years instead. Shit.
Yeah. There's in some ways it's good because I know that it's brilliant and I know I'll enjoy it at some point, and I know that I can't buy it now. It would be dreadful to buy it right now. I
don't think there's ever been a Year of Shame year where all 4 or all hosts have all spunked on the same game.
I mean, I'm not spunking on it with you.
No.
I didn't sign up for that. We are not.
No.
Doing any sort of soggy biscuit.
Wait a minute. Whoa. I thought that was what we could do, the one and only video podcast at the end of the year for. Thought we were all going to send sperm through the post. What?
Can you do that? Well, you're the expert, Neale, can we?
Yeah, I mean, I work for the postal carrier for the UK.
You're going to have to pull some strings.
Yeah, I'm...
Well, whatever gets you off, Joe.
Yeah. No, but I'm glad. So, Matt,
okay, but serious question: can you send semen to the post? Can you send human semen to the postal service?
There's absolutely no reason why you can't send it in a sealed container with no smell.
No smell.
Yeah, so don't smear the outside. Yeah, absolutely fine.
uncovering the inner workings of the postal security system.
You do know
it's
that
basically
IT
just a guy called Jeff sniffing things.
Yeah. Oh, Jeff and his dog
Takes
Dave.
a couple of packages home every evening.
No. See, even though I work for the postal carrier for the UK, I don't actually work in operations. I work in IT, so I've absolutely no hidden or extra knowledge, so don't ask me. Although I do remember a training video when I very first started about
If that's happening on it, you're going to remember it.
No, it wasn't semen. It was people sending like knives down the back of books and stuff like that, and breaking open children's books. You know, like because the pages are made of cardboard. People that would peel that apart and put like cocaine down the middle and then try and reseal it and stuff like that. That happens all the time, apparently.
Does that explain does that explain your massive place?
Yeah, that's why right behind me is all my children's books. No. Carry on. I don't even remember what we were talking about. Matthew, social media, have you been using it a lot?
As much as ever. Making sure that I'm doing better than other people keeps me alive. I've got a question here from Richard Ford. He said, as you're not buying games, can one of you lend me a tenner? Tell you what, Dave, Rich, if you've got the fuel to come down here to Oxfordshire, I'll lend you a tenner.
Yeah.
I'm not, because it's going to probably cost me a tenner in today's bills to host this video call and recording and editing and so on. It's like, no.
It's probably cost us a
tenner.
Can you
lend us a tenner?
Yeah.
Right, Dave, we're bracing ourselves for this, but how many games have you actually played this month? Is it a lot?
Well, to be honest, I thought it would be one.
How many games?
But it transpires, as usual, that I have played a few more than I thought I did. So, as you know, love my arcades, so I played through Golden Axe, The Revenge of Death Adder, which is the sequel to Golden Axe in the arcade. Absolutely brilliant 2D beat 'em up.
One of the best sequels, with the extra bit behind it, like the Revenge of Death Adder.
Yeah,
is so arcade.
It's cool. Actually, on a side note, I saw a T-shirt I want to buy today, and it was the Golden Axe girls. they got the Golden Axe
amazing
artwork with the Golden Girls on. That will be getting bought.
Thank you for being a friend. Throwing your axe and back again.
Gilius Thunderhead.
I've been watching an awful
Blanche.
lot of Golden Girls since we've been watching this. I've even done a quiz of which Golden Girl are you, Blanche Devereaux. Helen is currently watching Golden Girls right now.
Right, if all of us was a Golden Girl, Matt is Blanche.
No,
1,000%.
I think you'll find I am Blanche, because during one particularly drunken Gears and Beers night, I actually changed my gamer tag and my picture to Blanche Devereaux.
You did. You actually paid for it, yeah.
And then did you pay money to change it back afterwards?
Yes.
Who's laughing now, eh, Dave?
Blanche Devereaux, all the way to the back.
I can't even remember the other people. Anyway, fucking hell, let's get to
We've got
subject.
through one
Okay,
game.
right.
One game.
Also,
before
completed
talking about the
another
Golden
arcade
Girls.
game, Snow Brothers, and I've been playing loads of Robotron and Defender. Absolute classics. That's arcade games done.
Which part of Space Channel 5 have you been playing, Dave?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm a retro. So I did Space Channel 5 Part 2 because I'd never done it. So I managed to get a translated ROM, and I played that on the Dreamcast, which is great because it's got the worst Michael Jackson in it ever.
What, do you mean worse than the actual?
Yeah.
He is worse
Michael
than
Jackson
the actual
game.
Michael Jackson.
Like Michael Jackson.
Well, what about Michael Jackson's Moonwalker on the Mega Drive, where Michael Jackson has a monkey on his back while he rescues children?
Yeah. And you can turn into a giant robot for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
I've actually finished that in the arcade as well.
There's a button that makes him grab his crotch, right, and say,
Yeah,
"Hey."
it's like your smart bomb move. He does his dance. Dang, 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 dang. Right, anyway. back
and
to
all the children in
actual
there
games.
quiver to the knees.
Sorry,
carry on.
back to actual games that people care about. We've, Tuesday night gang, we finally finished Back for Blood. That was just
nice.
superb. A bit of a letdown, the final level in that. It's like fighting the Kraken from Sea of Thieves, but absolutely rubbish version of it. Not a brilliant end to that. But here's a question for you. The new DLC came out today, and you only need one person in the entire party to own the DLC to play it. So, if one of my friends buys that and I play it with them, is that in the rules where I have spent nothing and it's effectively just another part of the game I'm playing?
Look, whatever I say, I'll be wrong. So, Joe, what do you think?
This is down to you and your conscience, Dave. If you think it's in the rules, if you want to come here next month and say, I've played a game
That's not officially on my pile.
Well, it's not a game, is it? It's a DLC that I haven't paid for.
I don't know. I don't know, Dave. Don't ask me.
I mean, I can't remember.
I'll tell you what, we'll have a
Neale get a lot of
Facebook
flack
poll about this.
Was Neale just playing a DLC? Did he get a lot of flack when he was playing?
Neale got off
No,
scot-free.
we glossed over that, didn't we?
No, nobody did even talk about that. I don't know.
It wasn't. It was barely
I
mentioned.
should just answer
No.
as well that somebody who I completed the game with previously wrote in to Matthew Moore trying to get me framed for playing bloody Duel on the Xbox Game Pass app.
And you called him a friend. Off the bat, I'd say you're not buying anything, so it's fine.
Because I'm pretty sure...
I think the
Jimmy,
rules are,
can
if you
get
think
random
it's all
If
right.
you were taking the
matched
piss and
into it
making
as
out
well.
as a present and stuff, then, or like if it was a gift, then we'd be like, okay. But the fact that it's a game you already own, a game you've already been playing, somebody has to have the DLC and you get to play along with them. It doesn't
this
feel
is the same as
cheating
like
to me.
Warhammer Vermintide did the same thing. Even if you didn't own the DLC, you could randomly match and just be in the DLC playing it.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I think
No.
we're good.
I think you're fine.
okay. Anyway,
Yeah,
Back for Blood. Everyone should play that with mates because it's bloody brilliant.
I'd like to play that.
And very similar to that, I also finished with the same guys, Strange Brigade. Now we played quite a lot of this before, and it's third person Victorian based, very jolly ho. Come on, let's go at 'em, chaps. Like mystical third person shooter, really good fun. It's the absolute epitome of not AAA game. But just really good. Excellent co-op game. Highly recommended. Got some DLCs to play on that, but not started those. My main campaign done. Another one DLC we completed is Borderlands 3. We've completed the Mad Moxie's Heist of the Handsome Jackpot DLC, which was pretty long, to be honest. It took us about...
What title or gameplay?
Both. Very much felt like a full campaign, and that's only a DLC, one DLC. So
That's good. So how much was that? Like a paid DLC, or was it like
that's a
free
paid
expansion?
DLC, but we bought the absolute balls deep edition when it came out.
Ah, I see.
So we've been sort of stretching them out and having a break to play something else.
Cool. And is that glossed over a big release that's come out this month that you would have normally bought?
Absolutely.
Do you feel like it's plugged a gap in your butthole that Tiny Tina would have filled with her fingers?
Absolutely. I mean, Mad Moxie. And
The Year of Shame
love
does
that,
not
put in a gap.
condone filling buttholes with fingers.
Well, when there's a
it
character
not?
called Butt Stallion,
Doesn't
Matthew's
condemn
leaving.
it. Doesn't condone it. It's neutral.
So if that's the case, then Matthew's off.
The Year of Shame is neutral when it comes to filling buttholes with
It could be
fingers.
with anything.
Did you know that in Borderlands there's a unicorn made out of diamond called Butt Stallion? This is an actual
I imagine.
character.
Right, let me make a note of that. That sounds like a cosplay search I've got to look for later.
Yeah,
Cosplay butt
so
stallion.
the reason why this DLC was so good is because it carries on from Borderlands 2 Handsome Jack character, who is my absolute 100% favourite ever baddie in a game ever. He's just superb. So yeah. Yeah,
So yeah, you've enjoyed it and stuff. Then
we've still got 3 other whole DLCs to go as well. So that's
wow,
why I'm
you've
not
got loads.
freaking out about Wonderlands, because if it was any other year, that would have been installed and been getting played now.
Are they the other 3? Are they available yet, or are they getting dripped through the rest of the year? Which
they've all been out for a good long time. Great games. Everyone should play Borderlands 3. It's brilliant.
I don't know if I've gone about Borderlands the wrong way. I played the Handsome Jack. I got the Handsome collection, played a bit, and it really put me off. I think I just played it in the wrong order. Like, I've never been able to gel with Borderlands at all.
Started with. You should basically go through them in chronological order, because that's how.
Well, I got Handsome. So I got the Handsome collection, and I think I started on a prequel. So I played them in. I think it asks you to play it in timeline and order, and I was kind of like, "What?" I did not like it one bit.
The pre-sequel is the last one that you want to play out of all of them.
Yeah, and I started, and I don't know. It presented them to me in that order. I think.
There's basically Borderlands 1, and Borderlands 2, and then there's Borderlands the pre-sequel, which takes place in between 1 and 2, but it's full of spoilers for 2, so you can't play it before.
I think I did that, and then I jumped into Borderlands 3, maybe.
That's not in that collection. It's a standalone game. 3.
I did. Right.
Anyway, yeah, I would say Borderlands is pretty much my favourite series of games ever.
What, even like Dark Souls? I thought that was your favourite series of games.
No, different reason. I mean, if it's me playing on my own, it's Dark Souls. But I've played like every minute of every Borderlands game with my best friend. So I can't play them without him. In fact, what I've been doing
Gavin's
this week
really
is...
happy about that.
Hey?
I'm just joking about Gavin being your best mate. So
Gav also plays as well. Gav plays with us. So yeah, what I've been doing this week is, because I've been missing Borderlands so much and I can't start the other DLCs without my friends, I've just been levelling up some random alt characters in the old game, just because I like the gameplay and it's fun. Anyway,
question for you, Dave, about Borderlands. I remember the first Borderlands game had the outstanding Cage the Elephant opening song. Do they maintain awesome opening songs?
Yes, pretty much. It's well worth listening to the actual just soundtracks, the OSTs of the game, because they're super duper good. All of them. They're great to listen to while you work. Right, last one, which I've already touched on before, is played a bit more Far Cry 5, trying to understand what the hell's going on. Unfortunately, we're both blind drunk, so no, we still have no idea what's gone on. But we have got quite far somehow. That's it.
I think you mentioned this last full episode, didn't you, about Far Cry 5 and the whole kind of just starting it co-op and just not knowing what you were doing, just ending in any direction.
Yeah, so that's what we tried to do. We tried to make sense of it, but we ended up just doing ridiculous stuff and
sweet.
Still no idea.
So
that's me done anyway. That's a quick run through. Apart from Elden Ring, which took up literally every waking moment of March.
Did you sometimes say to the wife before bed, like, "Love you, Elden Ring," and rather than saying her name?
No, it's one
because it's literally on your mind.
I'll be honest,
all the
it's
time.
one of the few games that she knows the name of because I played it so much.
Did you dream about it?
Yes.
Like when you take your games to bed with you, and you in your mind, and you dream like you're going through. Like I go through certain mechanics of games in my head, like when I've played them too much, kind of things. I'm playing the kind of bits and bobs. Were you doing something similar with Elden Ring? Then
Absolutely.
was it like
Absolutely.
invading dreams,
I'm telling you, once you start playing
summoning
that,
to
you
your
cannot
dreams?
stop thinking about it, because the quests aren't like Fallout or Skyrim or something. It doesn't say go here, do this. It just like gives you a vague waft of a hint, and you have to scour the whole map to try and find.
It's like it would like at some point you should probably go and I don't know, maybe kill this thing, and you go, all right then, and then you got no idea who they were talking about. But one day you'll stumble upon someone, you'll defeat them, and go, oh shit, that was what they were talking about.
See.
Not to keep asking, like, I've got a question about this one. I've got no sense of direction whatsoever, and I'm slightly worried that I would get completely lost in this game. Like, I would be... I'm on a rock, it looks like the other rocks. How do I get... Like, I can get lost. And it feels like I need that direction.
I would argue that
Would I
being
get that
lost
direction,
is no
or-
bad thing, because it makes you explore more. See,
It does, and-
I think everyone was terrified, because it's a Souls game, that everything is just going to destroy them. And the best advice, like I gave this to Jay
I'm not worried
Stokes,
about that. I'm
he
worried
was
about... I want to go over here, and I'm currently walking towards the wrong thing.
No, because like you can look on the map. Right, first of all, I'm sorry to go on about Elden Ring again, everyone. In fact,
Sure, the listeners are loving it.
Serena Haywood says,
Jacking
are
off at
any
the
of
same
you
time."
Elden Lords yet? Not yet, but very close.
Oh, any excuse to talk about Elden Ring a little bit more, you'll pull in Serena's question. Are we Elden Lords yet? I'll tell you what.
Are you an Elden Lord if you've smashed the game
Yeah,
to bits?
that
like, if
is
you-
one
I
of
think that's the aim of the
achievements
game, isn't it? To put the
completed
ring back together and be a lord. Is that
Joe,
the
there's-
thing?
Yeah,
Possible.
don't want to say
Joe,
anything
let's go
really.
No, to go to
All
your
right.
thing, one thing that I've started paying attention to, and I need to do this more often, I think, with newer games which try their best to render an open world fully. Do you remember when they first started showing off Skyrim? They were saying, "You see that mountain over there? You can go to that." Similar sort of thing with Elden Ring is where if I'm unsure exactly where I am in relation to stuff, if I look on the skyline, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, there's that big fucking castle over there.
There are
There's that
very clear
huge thing over
visual
there.
indicators where you want to go.
You're assuming an ability to navigate. That's what you're...
Right. The other thing I was going to say, Joe, is
That's right.
when you open the map, it shows you the direction you are looking right now, and exactly where you are. And also, each bonfire has got like a big sort of spark coming off it, which says, this is the next big thing this way. Now, you can just completely ignore them. You don't have to go that way at all, which is what I did. I spent 30 hours before I even vaguely attempted to start playing properly. Just explored, just nicked gear. In fact, I was basically a thief for 30 hours, just running around nicking stuff. Elden Ring.
But yeah.
Elden
Like,
Ring.
Yeah.
can you find your way around as easily as you can on like The Witcher and stuff like that? I can cope
Easier.
with The Witcher.
I was like, there's no like auto. You know, in The Witcher, you can set a waypoint and auto run. There's
Yeah.
not that.
Yeah. But can you set a waypoint like I want to be here and
Yeah,
find
you
your
can
way
set.
there from
You
there?
can set
It is
up
by
to
the- as the
5
crow
custom
flies.
waypoints, and they just appear on your compass.
Because I liked... I'm going to get back into Ghost of Tsushima, I think, and I like the way they managed that with the wind sort of blowing towards the way you needed to go. That was quite a clever way of doing that.
Hang on, Joe. I don't know if I asked this before. I've also got this on my pile of shame. Is it co-op?
I think there's definitely a multiplayer aspect of it that is co-op. I think it's called Legends,
Yeah.
and that you can get that sort of standalone. But I'm not sure if it's co-op.
I'm not either. To be honest with you. I think there's a multiplayer kind of aspect where you can play together.
I think it's like the Last of Us factions. I think
Yeah.
in that there's like an extra bit you can do.
Which is
That's
really,
co-op.
well, I tried it. It's a horde mode. It's a horde mode. You're not even pulling your own
I'm
character
totally
into
out
it.
of
It's
that
like,
then. Forget that.
and it's a shame because that would work. I mean, yeah. But either way, both of you should go totally into that game. Joe, I reckon you'd love it.
Yeah, the thing is, I've started it and got quite into it, and then it was a long time. But we were moving house at the time, and then when you move house, I don't know if you've noticed, Neil, but you stop playing games for a little bit because you have to do.
Neil
things.
didn't. He stuck 86 hours into Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
no, mate,
Big DIY.
You know what I got fed up of? He's peeling fucking parcel tape off boxes. I literally became obsessed. I'd lost my fingerprints. I'm pretty sure I could committed any crime. Not any crime, but any finger-based kind of crime that could have found at.
This episode's all about finger-based crime.
Yeah.
Because my finger banging.
I could have finger banged because I had no fingerprints whatsoever from taking parcel tape off things. So yeah, no, when you move house, things become warped and out of sync. But no, that's fine. Should we move on to our last Facebook question? No, in fact, before we do that, Matthew, have you played anything else apart from Elder Ring?
Oh, I think one thing I wanted to mention, and this is one of those kind of there were categorizations in previous years, such as like the Mighty 20 minutes, and what's the word where it's like it's a game that always stays within you, always
Evergreen.
go back to. So mine is Solitaire, because like when I even sent a screenshot into our group going like, yay, I bought Elden Ring on that weekend that I bought it, but because you two were far too excitable being with like real people in Birmingham, I think you must have missed that.
I saw it, but paid no attention to it.
But someone sent a screenshot going like, oh, I guess this happened then. It showed my recent achievements, and it was like Elden Ring and then Solitaire. Because I still have... Solitaire's loaded right now. I still play Solitaire almost every single day. And I will sit and play it for a couple of hours in my corner window. It's either that, or it's Peggle, or it's FTL. It's my in-the-corner game while watching YouTube, rabbit holes, just... Solitaire, man. Still my jam.
Yeah,
All these years later.
It was me that sent you the screenshot, because I was like, I searched through the Xbox app to see, when I realised that you'd bought Elden Ring, and I was like, has he played more than 20 minutes? So I went to your achievements, and you can look at statistics from there. And before I even got to where Elden Ring was, you'd bumped a couple of achievements that day for Solitaire, and I was like, what?
Yeah, every time I open my Xbox app, it just says Matthew Moore Solitaire, Microsoft Solitaire. Every single time without fail.
Crikey. Right, let's do one more question from the community.
Hold on.
Go on, Dave.
I was gonna just I've got one game that I've been playing. I'm about halfway through. Is it worth talking about now, or shall I just save it for next time?
I don't know.
Do it.
Yeah, do it.
Go for it.
Okay.
Just before we do,
I'll save it
Neil,
for next time.
Cut this. What are you drinking out of? Are you drinking a trifle?
Yeah, let me move my the apparent agenda we meant to be following. Let me move that out of the way so I can see my own camera.
This goes on AOB.
Yeah. No, we've been on a fucking midpoint agenda for about half an hour, 3/4 an hour. No, this is a wine glass stroke goblet that just kind of it does look like your granny's.
It's a beautiful object.
Hey, it's nice to drink out of.
Is that a bit of yellowtail in there, Neil?
No, mate. I can't mention I don't want to get into sponsorship or anything like that, but I can't mention the supermarket. But the wife has recently changed jobs. And
impartiality rules.
Yeah, the wife has recently changed jobs, and she's now a senior manager within the recruitment department of a particular supermarket chain, and she gets 15% off. So we've gone up market, mate. So now we're on 19 crimes.
Oh, does that mean the Waitrose or Marks and Spencer's?
Isn't there a video gamey thing related to that? Can't you...
There's an AR app, isn't there? You can see the criminals.
What?
You can scan it with your phone,
and those labels move and do stuff like a
You're fucking pulling my... You're trying to make me look like a dickhead on the podcast.
No, Neil, seriously.
Either someone was slipping acid or
in the chat.
I don't pay attention to what that guy says. I do actually not. Apologies, Matthew.
I think either Matt Spink dropped acid, or you can make the label talk to you and describe the crimes it's committed.
There's an
You're blowing Neil's mind over there.
That's fucking bullshit.
Look for it now.
I'm not looking for it now because I don't want to be made a fool out of live on air. You can bollocks. I'll do it afterwards.
I'll look for it for you.
It's all right. We're not live.
Right. I point it at my camera. You make him talk and then take a screenshot.
It's called living wine labels.
Right, you do it to this.
My name's Sol Bloddock, and I killed 20 kids.
I put my fingers up their bottom with no fingerprints left.
This has gone too far.
You made that talk.
Dog on.
You made that talk, and you use it as the thumbnail for the podcast. No, you can't. So shush.
Jesus.
Right, can we move on? Because I do want to actually end this recording at some particular point.
See if you can see on that can, Joe's name is actually on this can. I've got a screenshot of it. I'll put it in later. Yeah, you can't see it.
There you go.
Oh.
There he is.
Oh, Mr. Cooper.
Sometimes I end up having email conversation with brewers. That's where this came from.
Okay. Cool. Right, okay.
Why is this changed? Why is my view
I
changed?
don't know.
I should have put it back. I put it to highlight speaker. I've put it back to gallery now.
Okay, right.
If you're not drinking that beer, you're supporting cancer. You're like saying you're pro-cancer.
If you're not drinking the beer, you're supporting cancer. So what you're saying is 19 crimes is now 20 crimes.
Humanitarian crimes. Okay, right. Let's please move on. Okay,
I think this is the best part of the show.
it's
The
not.
best bit's
I
when we're not
I
talking about
literally
video
can't
games.
believe that Neale is trying to corral us. It's normally the other way around.
trying my hardest.
Neil's trying
He's
to herd
literally
cats.
like, it's not cats. It's fucking duck-billed platypuses fucking going in any single direction.
You're trying to
You
herd
do what you
Bonky,
want.
The cat.
Okay, so
Right, hang on. There's next item on the agenda.
no, I'm doing a Facebook.
How much do you reckon Little Chef charges for 3 egg omelettes? Genuinely on the agenda. We've got to
is on
talk
the
about
agenda.
it. So, who's
put it
going
on
to win? How?
Who put that on there?
I have one guess.
Who's going to a Little Chef and who's ordering a 3-egg omelette? I don't know, fucking £6. That's already
I'm
enough.
going to say
Right, £6. Dave,
£8.95.
Right, is it a plain omelette? Has it got anything in it? It's got ham or mushrooms in it.
it's a 3-egg omelette. It's served with chips, salad, and a choice of a filling from mature cheddar, cheese, mushrooms, honey roast ham, or tomato.
Oh right, so it's got the plethora. It's got a
Oh, if it's got fillings,
it's a
I'm
meal.
going
Some
for
girth in it.
£11.25.
I'm going for £8.50.
Well, $6.99. Remember, you're at a fucking Little Chef.
I've never been to one, so that's-
I didn't know they still existed.
Did you-
And I looked them up the other
Did
day.
you get a lollipop because you finished your meal? Because that's what they used to
That's
do.
what I was thinking. They used to give you a lollipop, yeah. I don't know if they still do lollipops.
But they just stick their finger at your arse.
Well, yeah, for an extra £1.
round the back of the bins.
The 3-egg omelette appears in the Chef's Classics section of Little Chef. The other sections, you can eat a breakfast, you can have a light bite, a Chef's Classic, a burger, a hot dog, or kids menu. They're your food choices.
Chef special.
Smashy.
Why does hot dog get its own section? Like, why? The Year of Shame podcast is not sponsored by Little Chef.
Oh, but wouldn't that be fun?
Although we would like to be.
Right, have we all talked about what we've been playing?
Yes, everybody's talked about video games.
It's almost like we're about to go into the second section of this podcast,
instead
Dave.
of talk about anything real life, can we just please
I've
do
lost my mind now.
the last Facebook question before we move on, because it's you know. Fuck me. Right, I'm going to say it out loud, and whether you follow me along on this podcast or not, I don't care. Okay, the absolute legend, living legend of Adam Edwards has sent us a question which I think is quite profound and worth asking, and I'd like you to stop me sniggering and pay attention. Okay, so when Adam asks, when you die, eventually, be that now or in 200 years' time, when you meet St. Peter at those pearly gates, and he asks you which lifetime statistic you'd like to know about yourself, what do you ask for?
How much cum?
What you've consumed or you've given?
Both.
Cum stats, please. Hey, Peter, come stats, please. Just full up. Come stats.
I want a pivot table
Somebody
on come taken, come received.
Oh my god.
Is that like a kill to death ratio?
Oh, your TR, your cum TR ratio. I don't know which. I don't know what to think.
Here's the thing, St. Peter. We both know where this is ending.
Oh,
So I'd like to say something nice,
go on.
but we both know I'm going downstairs. How much time would I have saved if you just fucking told me the truth from the beginning, and this wasn't left to guess, and I could just how much time have I wasted that could have been saved by you coming downstairs and telling me what I had to do in the first place? Hey, St. Peter.
I'd like that.
I like
actually.
that. Fair play.
Rather than guessing or being given a half truth.
Sounds like a get out clause to me, Joe. So just because someone ain't told you how to live your life, right? Don't mean you can't.
No, lots of people have told me how to live my life. I didn't know which ones to believe because some of them were dirty men.
You're talking to one now. He's called Matthew Moore.
And some of them, let's be honest, St. Peter, were employed by you.
Zing!
But you've got to know about. Like, is that a statistic, though? Being a maths man yourself, Joe, is that strictly a statistic?
Well, how much time has been wasted on planet Earth by God hiding things? No, that's a
There you go,
statistic.
then. That's it. It's an actual scientific answer.
Should we make it light? Again, what I've done is sort of pull it into the dark again.
No, the dark was reached when we start going down the jizz route. Anything above of that is great. I think I would like to know at that time. God, you know what? You could give a really serious. I could if I'd thought about this before, and I could give it a really serious answer to this question. Part of me just wants to say, like, how much time have I spent in VATs on Fallout games, just aiming at people?
That's a good one.
Like,
That's a good one.
how much time of my life have I spent in VATs?
Yeah, trying to work out, well, the head's the head, but it's only
Yeah.
50%.
Yeah, exactly. If I go for the chest, I could do one chest, one arm, and then maybe go for a kneecap. Potentially.
See, without the context of Fallout, your answer or your question was quite similar to Matthew's. How much time have I spent in VATs aiming at people?
Yeah. How much have I aimed and received? Yeah, it's just pretty much the same thing. But I you could go down so many routes. I'd like, how much time? Oh, I don't know. Have I been in other people's thoughts in a fond and friendly way? I mean, how much time do my friends think about me? That type of thing. You could go. I'd love to know loads of things.
Lines to see my in-laws and I've got Irish family, and so they're all massively Catholic and stuff. So I'd like to know, for a lifetime statistic, did my time being good outweigh any bad that I did? Really. And that's quite a serious thought. So I'd like to relate it to video
That's more
games,
sort of
but now
Egyptian,
you put
isn't
the
it?
literal fear of God in me. Thanks, Ad.
Are you gonna do a Peaky Blinders and get your own caravan to burn yourself?
Your breath.
Oh, I enjoyed that.
Okay. Okay. Let's move on, shall we? So we've got. I don't know where these questions came from. They're internal questions.
There are internal questions, and one of them I think we actually have a jingle for that I checked, and we still have it, and we haven't used it. I think
Oh my
now
God,
is the
let's use
time.
it.
Finally! I'd just like to say, being a sponsor and having my Russ Abbott official t-shirt on, Russ is still alive.
Good. I'm glad.
Outstanding.
I reckon November this is going to take a dark turn.
Yeah, I'm giving him a few months. Apparently he looks after himself. I read an article that he takes lots of supplements and vitamins and he looks after himself because The death of Bella Emberg deeply affected him. Thank you. St. Peter.
Did you read that in a vitamin C magazine or something?
No, I
Like,
don't
how
subscribe
did you know
to a
that?
vitamin C magazine. Oddly enough.
How the fuck did you know that? Well, one of our major patrons is Russ Abbott.
SeaWorld. Is it called SeaWorld? What is the vitamin C magazine?
Sea World. Joe, that's genius. It's all about health.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Right,
That's awful.
we've hit porn o'clock.
Right,
Yeah.
hang on, because I've got to read. This is bad. This is the first
When
line.
Joe says this is bad, you know it's
pretty-
going to be
It's
dark.
pretty fucking bad.
This is going to be like Inside Number 9 dialed up to 11.
Okay, I'm not going to make eye contact with you. I'm not going to look at you at all. Actress Bella Emberg was more than 3.5 times.
More than 3.5 times what?
Right. Actress Bella Emberg was more than 3.5 times over the drink drive limit when she collapsed.
Why are you laughing, Joe?
It's not funny at all. It's dreadful. But it's so terrible that I'm right. Actress Bella Emberg was more than 3.5 times over the drink drive limit when she collapsed and died on a bathroom floor, and inquest has heard.
You do know that being only 3 times over the drink drive limit, she's had like 5 pints, 6 pints. That's not actually that much.
Sort of implying she was driving on a bathroom floor.
When she was heading to like get in her car and
She was
stuff.
in a Volkswagen Golf.
On a bathroom floor. She coming
her
through
own
the
submarine.
skylight, mind you.
She was doing impression with her own telescope and stuff.
So what are you going to play next month then? What are you playing next month, Dave?
I've got
What's
a
on
little
your agenda?
game on the go. Superliminal at the moment. It's a very short indie game, and I think Neale would absolutely love it.
I can't play it though. No.
It's like... Have you played it, did you say?
Straight up. Not
But
playing.
no, I don't own it, so I can't play it. Sorry.
Gosh.
This video game podcast is about not buying video games you don't own. So yeah, no, I don't own it, mate. It sounds,
I think it's on
if you're
Game Pass
enthusiastic.
if you deem to
I
play
can't.
that.
I can't play games on Game Pass. That's what I've told myself.
Yeah,
That's why I'm not playing Guardians of the Galaxy, which I really want to play. I really want to play that. Everybody raves about it. It's on Games
yeah,
Pass.
I'm
I can't play
pretty
it.
sure that's going to be my next one. But I did buy the disc of that as I posted in the
Yeah.
group before.
Yeah, no.
Or Returnal. It's going to be one of
Well,
those.
it won the BAFTA, didn't it? Is it was a BAFTA or
Yeah.
something along those lines?
I actually
Could be
didn't see
good.
I forgot. We probably should have talked about that or had a look at what actually did win the BAFTAs, because it's games from last year that we may own.
Actually, fair point. Should we make next month's a special?
Yeah, let's do it.
BAFTA
next month,
special.
yeah.
What about you, Matt? Are you just going to play some more Elden Ring, some more Solitaire this month? Sorry,
I think so. I think
nothing else on the radar.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind getting into some online shenanigans with people.
Yeah,
But I want to do something other than Gears of War. So I think I need to do a little bit of delving and see what I can find. I mean, Dave, me and you, don't we keep threatening to play Age of Booty together?
That's got to happen. I had a quick go with Gav the other week, so I definitely know the online servers still work. So
Oh God, yes, they do still work. So I used the Xbox built-in looking for group thing, and it's kind of toxic. I mean, surprise, surprise, it matchmakes you like it used to back in the day with people wanting to play, and they're mostly toxic. But I found myself playing Age of Booty, and I was so frustrated because I couldn't find my headset to talk to people. But I must have found like the only 3 guys playing Age of Booty, because they immediately sent me friend requests. They were sending me messages on Xbox going like, God, dude, if you got yourself a headset, we could play for days. We could be best mates.
yes.
Oh wow!
It's a nice,
And
gentle
then
game.
cockpits.
Anyone can learn that game in seconds, but it's difficult to be any good at.
Master.
Yeah, that's a good one. Like I said, I've got the capture card set up, so I would love to do. I keep threatening to go visit Joe in his Animal Crossing kingdom.
He's Animal Crossing.
You'd be welcome to come to Wolfland whenever you want.
Do I just rock up like a newbie though? I mean, will I just have like the basic clothes and everyone's going to stand round and laugh at me, pointing like...
You'd just be around my
snatchers?
gaff, so there'll only be me and you there. If you want to come round, come round. Have you played it at all?
No, never. I've literally got it. I never loaded it. I've never even loaded the game up.
Give it a go.
You've got it, Neale.
I think you can come round. See,
So what?
You've got Animal Crossing, haven't you?
I did, mate. Yeah, like, I think I probably explained it on the previous recording, but when the pandemic started, I was just as lonely as everybody else, and just wanted not to think about the news and not to fucking want to die of just paranoia and anxiety. So yeah, I played the I bought a Switch, bought Animal Crossing, and played it for about 3 months solid, every single day, even when I was on meetings. And just kind of plodding away and stuff like that kind of thing. Yeah, played it for a long time actually. It did help. It was very calming, very thought provoking, away from real life shite. So yeah, I do own it. I just not played it for ages.
So does it work like...
I sort of stopped playing it for a long time, but I put it on recently because it's Helen's birthday. So you sort of go visit the animals on your birthday, you get a bit of cake.
Oh,
So did it every so often.
cool.
It's a weird one. Like you won't. There's nothing to fight. There's nothing to kill. You won't be underpowered if you come to visit the
Can't
animal.
double jump.
I've played
on a horse.
older
double jump
Animal
at
Crossing games. I just haven't played this one. But what I wanted to know
literally
is,
It doesn't
Like
turn
you
it. It doesn't turn into Pikachu.
if you leave your village unattended, does it still turn to hell? Because I loaded up a save on a 3DS about 3 years after I played it, and it looked like Borderlands. It was just post-apocalyptic in there.
Everything's on fire.
Yeah.
They've kind of blunted that quite a lot. So, like your villagers don't go unless they've spoken to you first. So I remember doing that and booting one up several years later, and everyone had gone. Like everyone had. It's sort of like a horrible. Everyone had left the
Mass
village, and you were the
exodus.
only one left. Yeah, and there's weeds everywhere and stuff. But
Yeah.
I think it's not as.
Like War of the Worlds.
It's
the
not.
Red
What will happen
Weed.
is you go and speak to people, and they're like, "Where have you been for the past month?" Is what happens, rather than anything else. So it's a bit more forgiving in that sense.
As for me, I'm gonna try and complete Cyberpunk this month if I can. Get that all done and dusted. They've talked about bringing out some expansion next year, so I'll get that into a position where I can wait for that. And I think I've got quite a bit of a pile to look through, to be honest with you. I do want to kind of go away from a bit of a kind of long game and go into a couple of short games I can get through. So I'll have a look and I'll update you. But yeah, I'm going to try and get Cyberpunk done and dusted and blown off the shelf, I think, first and foremost.
Yeah, I think
That's
the
me.
next,
That's me for next month.
the next few I play are going to be short as hell games. I think I'll probably be hitting the emulation or arcade games next month after 130 plus hours of Elden Ring it's a long time.
Yep. Definitely. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think I might have a go at. I keep saying this. If I find the time, I'll get back into The Witcher, and I'll try and get on Ali's version of The Witcher and get that finished off. Because I've done it myself, but just not done the DLC.
Is PlayStation, and we've talked about this before, have you tried cleaning out the fans and stuff for the
Yeah, I've done that, and so I've taken it apart. I've given it a good clean, but it's still, it's not happy.
I don't think
what you need to do, Joe,
the
is
whole...
you need to do the thermal pasting on it. That's what I did on my original PS4, and it sorts it out. But
I might hit you up for some
it's
instructions for that.
a bit scary
on my
to
own
do
list.
because you literally have to take it down to the motherboard.
Well, it's not working now anyway, so I'm not going to.
No, make it
any
worse.
particular damage.
I think before you do that, I think for me though, mate, from my perspective, I think the whole thing that what you're doing with that is about his saved games and taking on his games rather than his console. So if you can move his games over and his saved content and just continue on your version, then that
might be another Dave chat to make that work, because I'm not sure if it'll let you. Unless he's logged into the console.
What needs to happen is that PS4 needs saving, and I'm going to make sure that happens. Even if you have to parcel that up to me. That PS4 must survive. That PS4 must work. That is a driving reason for this year of shame. So it is going to get fixed, and I'm going to do it.
Oh wow, that is dedication.
Oh, that's
Dedication's what you
stern
need.
I've ever seen, Dave. I mean, I've got loads of PlayStation games that I need to get through. I've got the whole Bioshock. I didn't realise I had all the Bioshock games.
Oh,
I
do
never
them.
went through it.
They're ace.
I've played them before, but
Mate, so have I. But I actually, when I played them in like January, February, I got a lot of enjoyment out of it. They mature well. Honestly, it's a good set to play.
So these are things that maybe not next month, but I've got Heavy Rain. I've got the Telltale Batman game. I've got Senua's Sacrifice, which I really need to hit.
I've got that as well to play.
I've got all the Uncharted games.
When you play
I'd
that,
like to come back to
by the way,
zombies.
guys, play in the dark. You must have headphones on.
For Senua.
You must. I found that personally incredibly disturbing. I could only play that for short bursts. I found it
That's
really,
what got me.
really
Like
difficult.
I could only play it for a little bit. So that's what put me off it in a way, because I was finding it really tough. There's a game called Erica that I've never really heard of that's on my list here. It looks
that's the
quite
FMV game, isn't it?
Is it any good?
I've not played it. I've got
Well,
it. I've got
it's
it on
FMV,
PS.
so it's worth a look.
I'm massive
Yeah.
into them.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I've got a great idea for something we could do on stream. I've got quite a lot of those FMV games, and we could sort of play those like on a Zoom. I can Zoom it, and then you'll basically just have to shout out what choice you want, and then we'll go with that.
Mate,
and we'll just
that is
go
an excellent
through
idea.
That's
a
a really good
film
idea,
game.
Let's do that this weekend. Let's set out like 2 hours, and we'll do however long the game takes.
I think
10 hours to do. We'll do 5 episodes.
Most about an hour and a half. So I tried it on those beer tasting nights that I do. So you've done the ones on the Zoom with me as well, where I do like the quizzes and things like that, and so we can do a load of them. Yeah,
Sounds perfect.
right. It's on.
Right. Should we wrap up and then talk shit for
let's
5
wrap
minutes?
up and talk shit. We're basically heading there now. So, Joe, you need to do
I think we've been talking shit for 2 hours, if I'm honest.
the sexual section. What? I don't know where I was going with that.
I didn't see that in the agenda.
I'm looking at the notes. I don't see anything about sexual.
The sexual section.
This has been absolutely wonderful. And now for some domestics.
Right, so dental plans all reactivated. Okay, we can carry on with this now. So if you're looking for us we're looking for you guys on Spotify. It's Spotify, and search for the Year of Shame Challenge. On the Facebook group, it's the HTTP, the www, the bookofface.com groups, and we've got Year of Shame. You just stick Year of Shame there, you'll find it. Of course you will. Email, it's the yearofshame@gmail.com. Twitter, I'll give you 3 guesses. It's at Year of Shame. And of course, you can find us on the Midlife Gamer Discord. And also, you might even find us sneakily on the Midlife Gamer Facebook group as well.
Okay, we're on 2 hours 22. Joe,
Come on,
That's
Joe.
ridiculous.
let's go.
amount of
Joe,
time.
we're waiting for you to close this up. Come on,
I
host.
thought I just closed it up. This is you being closed. You're being closed up. Here are the domestics. This has been wonderful. It's been a beautiful time. I hope you've enjoyed it. Listen next month. We'll do the same thing again. See you soon. Love you all. Dave, we love you. Tell everyone how much you
I
love them.
really love you all.
Matthew,
Me, I'm touching myself. I love you.
Neale, who are you touching? Who do you love?
I'm touching my dog. That's how much I love you.
We love you all. We'll see you next month. Bye-bye. Now it's for some domestics with a lovely man doing that now too. It's been great. It's been wonderful. It's been great to be in your ears. I'll see you soon. Don't forget me. Don't forget we love you. I've got really into it amusingly named. I've got really into it. Have you heard of Wet Leg? I'm really into the band
Yeah,
Wet Leg.
yeah.
I posted on the Discord,
well into 'em.
like basically when that
Well into
single came out, Shays Long.
Yeah, they played Sheffield about 4 or 5 months
Oh.
ago, and it was like a massive thing. Yeah.
Talking about
It was
Sheffield,
good.
I cannot
That's
believe
what-
the lead mill's closing. That is genuinely distressing. I've seen some of the best bands of my life there.
The first actual band I've ever seen live in my entire life was at Leadmill when I was 15 years old.
Oh, who was that?
Right, so if memory serves me correctly, it was Cooler Shaker.
Govinda Jaya
Govinda
Jaya.
Jaya Jaya.
And
Weirdly enough, they're forever associated with Quake for me, because you could take the Quake disc out and put an album in, and that's the album I used to put in. So I've been playing Quake with the Cooler Shakers album K playing.
I used to do that.
Did it help?
When
Yeah, that and a
Ridge
Manson.
Racer came out on the PS1, I used to take that out and I put Beastie Boys in.
Sorry, Neil, you were saying something. You were talking about Cooler Shakers.
no, I think
James Watley's
I think it was
trying to spam me, by the way, at the moment, saying, "Oh, tell them I said hi." He's trying to get me to play something.
Nope.
No, I think it was the first band I'd ever been to see live, and it was at Sheffield Leadmill, and it was either Cooler Shaker or Shed 7. I can't remember. I had a lot to drink that
Big
night.
hitters.
And the best thing about it was that we my parents lived when I was 15, 16 years old. My parents lived nowhere near Sheffield. It was 50 miles away. So getting home that night was not, I couldn't afford a taxi, and all the trains had gone. So we decided on the day that we'd take a couple of blankets with us and put them in lockers, when you used to be able to have lockers in bus stations before it was a terrorist kind of candy for them to fucking get all excited about. So we went on a bus to Sheffield, put about 3 or 4 blankets in these lockers, paid £1 for to keep them overnight. And then when we came out the gig at like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, absolutely off as tits, drunk, high on life, 16-year-olds kind of thing. We went over to the bus station and slept around the back of the bus station. And every 3/4 of an hour, I shit you not, a tramp came round and asked us if we wanted to give him a blowjob.
How many times did you say yes?
Well, there's only so many times you can ask.
Just had the time, Joe.
To be fair, Joe, just the once, because it was that fucking good.
Yeah.
He never came back.
Yeah, I sucked the life out of him. He didn't need any more.
So
His life juice was drained.
my first gig was utterly I was 14. I went to see 2 bands called. The support band was One Lady Owner, and the band was The Audience, which Sophie Ellis Bextor. So I was 14, a bit drunk, wandered backstage in a group of people that were walking backstage. Just was like, I'll get involved in it. Sort of that arrogance of youth. The bouncers were like, we've only got passes for 11 and there's 12 here. So I turned to the bouncer and went, no, he's with us, let him in. I knew nobody else there and ended up drinking gin with Sophie Ellis Bextor.
I've just
No gig's been as good
Did she
since.
suck you up? Sorry.
No, she didn't know.
I've
Despite
just googled my first gig, and it was Duran Duran, 1988 at the NEC.
wow.
The one time I saw Duran Duran in 2000 was at the NEC.
I bet there was some sucking off going on that night. Sorry, Joe. I'm sorry. I brought it down. I'm sorry,
It's all right.
Joe. I saw your head roll and your eyes just float back.
What's your best gig?
That's what I saw.
What's your best gig ever?
Sorry.
One's a toss-up.
It's difficult because when I got to like 1997, I went to festivals every year for that was my holiday. So I'd go to like Glastonbury, I'd go to like Leeds Festival and stuff, and because it's just
festivals you just see a million people and it's all the best time.
Yeah,
it's got to be a specific gig.
I don't know. I agree with that sentiment.
Well,
there's one gig I wouldn't trade. I saw Leonard Cohen like once, and I'd like to have seen him a couple more times. But I saw Leonard Cohen once at the MEN. That was pretty special.
But the thing is, like in that testament, no guys, if I can't include festivals, then I can't include the fact that I've seen Bob Dylan, the fact that I've seen the Rolling Stones, the fact that I've seen Stevie Wonder.
Bob Dylan's the worst gig I've ever seen.
Hey?
Bob Dylan was terrible.
I've seen Bob Dylan
was the most disappointing gig I've ever seen.
He was all right at Glastonbury.
It was like a pub quiz. Yeah,
but he invented that shit. He's allowed he can get away with that.
Yeah, exactly. The person that invented yodeling can do yodeling.
It was absolutely
Tom
awful.
Jones blew the shit away from him. He was loads better. And Rod Stewart, actually. I took my mum to see Rod Stewart, and even he blew Bob Dylan away.
Bob Dylan's terrible.
I'm going to have to call it time, gentlemen. We're coming up to 2 hours and 47 minutes. I think this is going to be a monster for Matt to edit. Come on. I know we're having a good time and all, but it is. Come on.
All right. Before we go, I've not interjected in this. First gig was Pop Will Eat Itself.
Hey,
nice.
Average local band.
And I think my favourite was actually potentially one of the more recents, and it was the Beach Boys.
Class.
Nice.
Wow.
Just because like
it's
the Beach Boys and
not
they're still
yet.
doing that. That was, and also I'm at the age now where that's my kind of crowd.
See, again cheating because it's Glastonbury. But when what's his name from the Beach Boys played Glastonbury,
Brian.
One of the best times, Brian, and one of the best times I've ever turned round at a crowd. Like I've been stripped naked in a crowd at Glastonbury before after crowd surfing. Like literally, somebody tore my shirt. I fell into the actual pit, and people have taken my clothes off me. So I've seen some I've been.
I think that's okay. If you need help, I'm sure there's a number.
There's a child line. Oh wait, double one.
Were you a child at the
Is
time?
a story that
I was
might
10
make it.
years old.
It's a story that might make it into the podcast. My wife is exceptional at killing pop stars.
Right, definitely not making it into the podcast.
This is getting in.
Every time she books a ticket for someone, we're of that age where we want to see people just before they cark it. So she's managed to kill Status Quo, Chaz and Dave, Michael Jackson, George Michael, and Whitney Houston so far. Owen Prince.
She's not allowed to buy tickets for anything else anymore.
So,
I mean, we've just done the two Foo Fighters in.
how dare you?
We had tickets. We had tickets for it.
They can limp along.
They're not. They're cancelled.
It's not like Whitney Houston could have limped along with a cover version or the rest of her band.
I will always sound like you. Yeah, no, it's different. Completely different.
Anyway, but what I'm most gutted about all of them is I wanted to take my mate Al to go and see Chaz and Dave because he loves them, and one of them died. Was it Chaz or was it Dave? I'm not entirely sure.
Neale, at your stag, I saw Beans on Toast on my own.
Yeah.
That weird. They covers, but they do parodies, I guess.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they're like comical takes on songs, didn't they? I think I might have been. Was I? No, I wasn't with you, obviously. But yeah, no.
Dave's still alive. Chaz is dead.
Beans are
Maybe
alive.
we should get the one surviving. We should get the ones. We should get the one surviving Chaz and or Dev and the one surviving Chuckle Brother and make a brand new super unit.
I listened to a brilliant podcast with Paul Chuckle.
What? Is that a joke?
No, Paul Chuckle. No. Well, mine isn't. I actually listened to a really good podcast with Paul Chuckle the other day. Barry Chuckle's dead. That's not a joke either.
Get it? Understood. The statement, I listened to a really good podcast the other day with...
What do you think that was the setup for a punch?
Yeah,
I listened to a really good.
One of the Chuckle Brothers was like,
What to me? How's that going to end?
Like,
How's the joke going to end?
you're reading far too much
to me
into
to you
this.
podcast?
You're reading far too much into this. I was actually saying they couldn't possibly come up with a fucking decent podcast because what's he got to say?
To me.
It's a fucking 10-second podcast. That's shite.
It means nothing to me.
Like South Park. Timmy!
That's what it's called.
Timmy!
Okay.
What about?
I love you all so much. I think it's time we all fuck off.
The last one.
Massively time we fucked off.
You know they're called the Chuckle Brothers.
Oh God!
And the last one. Just
Can I fucking leave this podcast, please?
The Chuckle.
Fucking 3 hours!
Thanks
That
everyone.
needs to go in.
Good night.
Love you guys.
Love you, bye. I'm having some multigrain hoops.
Don't you get your hoop out on camera?
Hoops.
We're having hoops.
I'm having a weird food day. I had lasagna for lunch, and it's meant I had toast and cereal for.
Carbs! Seal update. Just been told by the person that told me the seal fact about them being the deadliest animal over 10 metres. Apparently I got that I get that fact wrong every single time I tell it. Apparently I've been told by my wife.
Is it about Seal the singer?
No, yeah, he's the deadliest man over 10 metres.
Kiss with a rose.
Yeah!
Fuck me. He's only 10 foot away. I'm dead.
I'm perfectly fine. No, I've been told by my wife, who was the person that told me that in the first place. That,
I love how you kept an identity so mysteriously concealed, and now finally it's his wife.
I've only got one friend, and it's my wife. Apparently, it's they're faster than a human over 10 meters. Apparently, so they're quicker. They're quicker over land. Over the first 10 meters, so if they come at you to attack you, they can beat a human. They can catch up with a human over 10 meters. So if they come at you, you're fucked. By a seal.
Just run at them.
Yeah, like a bull, just go downhill.
If you run at them, they won't be able to turn around as quickly.
I reckon I could use my Elden Ring knowledge now, and I could do a
double jump
roll next to it and just punch it in the side. Give it a right good kick in the flipper.
Right, sounds great.